Alright guys, Cammy Basics 101, right? So first off, alright, we're gonna do a little intro sequence about this character. So if you're in my stream chat today, if you're even if you're on YouTube, I just want to go over so today we're just gonna go over the basics for Cammy. Essentially, right? Everything you'll learn here today, or anything you implement from here, I assume could help anyone get to platinum, probably, maybe even farther. I haven't really tried it out on somebody, but I'm just using my own knowledge and just trying to help others improve their Cammy. So hopefully this can help someone who's maybe struggling a bit. Maybe they're stuck at a certain rank. They notice that they could be doing better, but they're lacking a few certain things to try and level up their Cammy play a bit. So today I'm just going to be going through some basics that can help you there. Obviously, with anything, there's a lot of these things. There's more even more in-depth stuff I can go over, but just to avoid information overload, considering there's already a large amount of it, just to avoid that, I'm just gonna go through briefly go through each steps and just kind of give you the basics. Nothing too crazy. And obviously, with most things, you don't want to do everything. You don't want to learn everything all at the same time. Go at your own pace, right? So if you notice you're already good at certain aspects of it, perfect. You don't have to worry too much about it. But if you notice there's one aspect that I mentioned that you're not really good at, maybe start there, right? But the way I have it laid out in my notes right now, I have it laid out in a way where it could pretty much help. Pretty much, if you're brand new with Cammy, if you go through every one of those options in that order, that's probably the best way to do it. So if you're confused about where to start, just go in the order in which I mentioned it, essentially. So first off, right, let's pretty much explain Cammy as a character. So why would you want to pick Cammy? Let's say you're new at this game, you just started playing Street Fighter, maybe you've just gotten into Street Fighter from other fighting games, right? So why would you use Cammy, right? So the thing about Cammy, in the context of Street Fighter 5, she's considered a very straightforward character. The reason for that is she's not going to be one of these characters that are really heavy on throwing you in 50-50 setups like Ibuki, or doing a lot of crazy mix-ups guessing 50-50s like G, right? She's a very straightforward character in the sense that she essentially just uses her walk speed and her good normals along with her throw game, and of course her dive kick to open up her opponents, right? That's Cammy in a nutshell. She's hyper rushdown is what I would say she is as a character. So what that essentially means is she's really good at getting in there and killing you fast, just based off the fact that she's quick. She hits pretty hard considering, right? Doesn't do the most damage, but it's a good amount of damage compared to other characters. But the trade-off, right? The trade-off for her being really good at rushing down people and killing them fast is this. Cammy herself, right? Cammy herself can't take any damage. As you can see right there, one combo pretty much did over 50% of my HP. So that's the trade-off when it comes to Cammy. She hits you, she's quick. Basically an honest character. Yeah, exactly, Pedro. You can kind of consider her an honest, quote-unquote character, A lot of people would argue that. I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of people that would argue that. I mean, hey, Cammy has bullshit. A lot of characters have bullshit in this game. So, but if you're to ask me, she's very straightforward, and she's a very straightforward character. If you're losing to a Cammy, it's mostly because you probably have some bad habits in your defense. At least at the lower levels. At higher level, it can be tough just because how the game works and everything. But at lower levels, I feel she can be easy to stuff just because to play Cammy proficiently. Based on the fact you see all the damage I got just from getting hit by one fucking jump in, you essentially have to be really on point, right? So yeah, Cammy's a glass cannon. You can go in quickly, you can kill your opponent fast. She's fast. Fast dash, fast walk speed, walk back, walk in, zoom in there, good normals, right? Dive kick, really good pressure. But the trade-off is, as you saw there, you can't take any risks, or you can't take hits. At all, really. Some characters, depending on the circumstances, can kill Cammy in 2 sequences. So one combo, and a guess. That's horrible. So, but that's the trade-off, right? That's what kind of balances her out. Because if she was a character that could do a lot of damage, you know, mix you up, and kill you fast, then she would just be G. But, you know, and have good HP, then she'd just be G. But she's not G, unfortunately. So we kind of have to hold that. But it's okay. I use Cammy because I like the rushdown aspects to her. So it's good for me. Yeah, so I guess now we can just go into like my steps. So I pretty much broke down Cammy into like 8 categories, right? For this video, or for this stream. So the first one being defense. So we're gonna be going over defense. And this is through importance, right? So I guess number 1 being defense. Number 2 being neutral. Number 3 being combos and block strings. Number 4 being throw game. Number 5 being like V-trigger, V-skill. Number 6 being special moves. And number 7 being dive kick. We're sure that's it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. So 7 things we're going to be going over today, pretty much. And again, even though it is the basics, with every category, there's pretty much more stuff I can go into, but I'm just going to, like I said, simplify it just so it's easier to understand. And whoever's watching this or whoever's here right now isn't overwhelmed with like a bunch of information that's just going to cram into their brain and they got to worry about this, and that. It's going to still be a lot of information, mind you. Like, especially, like I said, if you're bronze, somewhere around there, even a rookie, still going to be a lot of information. But go at your own pace, you know what I mean? Go at a slow pace, enjoy the learning process, and at the end of the day, don't rush yourself, you know? It's a lot of info, but, you know, you want to master one kick at a time instead of a million moves, you know what I mean? So even if you're just mastering one combo, even if you're trying to learn one block string, go at your own pace. And another thing I should mention before I like start getting into like the categories, don't worry too much about winning or losing at this stage, you know? I lose a lot still, even though I master, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Like, you're still gonna lose. Losing is a part of the game, right? Losing is how you learn to get better. And eventually all that losing is gonna be turning into more wins here, more wins there, more wins, and then eventually you're gonna see all your work paying off, and you'll be like, wow, I've come this far. I mean, I should know. I was pretty much a scrubby Street Fighter 4 player back in the day, you know? Like, this was my main game plan. I would walk back, do Spiral, walk back. Spiral was a low back then, so it was a bit more annoying than it is now. But that was essentially my game plan. So, if someone like me can improve, anyone can improve. That's my motto. Let's see. Now, but eventually. Yeah, and then later on, I'm thinking after this, I'll do another stream that'll go over more intermediate stuff, just to help like maybe someone who's like trying to like get past Diamond or is noticing some like bad habits in their Cammy gameplay. So that in that one, I'll probably add in some like tech stuff too, maybe stuff that can help you if you're mix-up game and stuff like that. But that's later on. Now we're just doing the basics. So yeah, so don't rush and overwhelm yourself. That's really key. One step at a time. Yeah. So first thing we're gonna learn about, or we're gonna go over, is defense, okay? To me, defense with Cammy is the most important thing you should know. Before anything else. Before you even sit down and you learn your first combo. I know it's crazy, especially for a newer player, because you see all these people doing combos, you're like, I want to do that too. Hey, guess what? You can't be doing combos if you're dead, right? If you're KO on the ground, you ain't gonna be hitting no combos. And to me, the one thing a lot of Cammys lack, right? Especially when I see them later on, because they almost developed this bad habit early on from the fact that she's hyper rushdown. They have really good rushdown. I mean, they'll get in that ass and they'll just go crazy and, you know, kill someone in like 5 seconds, right? But the second they meet that one player, right? The one player who's super on point and is stuffing them on everything and their offense can't get going, they fall apart. And the reason that is because they haven't learned to just implement good defense, right? Implementing good defense is key to Cammy. Because if you don't have a good defense, your offense might as well just be like irrelevant. Because a good defense is going to take you farther in this game, especially with Cammy, because considering she can't take many risks and she can't take much damage, compared to a really good offense. Because it's hard to learn a good defense later on, especially if you build bad habits around, you know, doing Hooligan, going in and just dashing all the time, right? But if you have a solid base with good defense, you can play that ground game. You know, you can play that slow game. You know when and to take risks and when not to take risks. Then later on, when you're trying to improve your offense and maybe play, you know, add in some more things so you're more scary on offense, it's just gonna be easy. It's just gonna be easy as, okay, I guess I'll just do this more, right? And you're gonna see more success because you're not, at least you have that defense to help you survive the matchups, right? So that's really important. Especially at the lower levels. At the lower levels, a good defense is gonna go a long way. Just because, for the most part, no one really has a good defense at the lower levels. People are always trying to do stuff. People are always doing unsafe stuff. You know, stuff that's always, like, punishable for the most part. So if you could start out now and just work on your defense, that'd be perfect. So ways to work on your defense, right? One of the things I have here is block on wake up and in general. So what do I mean by that, right? So let's say you're playing, you know, a lot of people hate blocking. It's just how it is, you know. Let me set it to not block. Right. Let's say you're this Ryu player, for example. You're this Ryu, right? People hate blocking, you know. You're this Ryu. You don't want to deal with this. You know what I mean? You don't like dealing with this stuff. The not blocking. Unfortunately, right? Blocking is more important than always attacking. I know this sounds like blasphemy, or sounds like obvious, but it really isn't to a lot of people, man. A lot of people, for some reason, are always taking risks on their wake up. Whether it's always going for EXDP, whether it's always waking up with jab, whether it's always doing something on wake up. And I want you to have this mentality where you should just chill, just block. Think of it like this: what's the worst that can happen if you just block, right? Let's say this Ryu. Let's say you're this Ryu, right? What's the worst that can happen? Let's say I'm getting in on you. I got a counter hit combo. Dash in for my pressure, my Oki, right? Bam. The worst you're gonna get is a throw. Okay, 130 damage, and we just reset neutral. Whoop-de-doo. And this is universal for most characters. Most characters, once they get a throw, a neutral throw, whether it's back throw or forward throw in neutral, they can't get any Oki off of it. Like, nothing. There are some circumstances where they might be able to, but it's nothing as threatening as this. Like, up in the face guess, right? So if you're just blocking, you don't have to deal with me potentially getting another counter hit, or baiting out your DP or whatever. Like, something like that, and getting even better. Oki, and then you're almost dead and you're in the corner, right? Yeah, exactly. Being, Pedro, having good defense, just blocking in general, is gonna help you in the long run. Just make it a habit. If you ever have moments, especially, let's say, like, it's the first interaction, you have EX meter and you're thinking, let me EXDP or let me press a button, kind of tell yourself, you know what, it's early on in the match, I'm just gonna block. I'm gonna see what happens. You want to have a mentality like that. If you're gonna try and implement it early, I would say do something like that, right? If you're in the beginning of the match and your opponent hits you with something, right? Let's say you just started playing this guy, just block. You know, just block more. Block more than pressing buttons and doing EXDP. That's my first thing on defense. It seems obvious, but trust me, you'd think something that obvious would be easy for most people, but unfortunately it's not. The next thing I mentioned is implement delay tech. Now mind you, if you're at like in lower level, this might be harder for you to understand, but delay tech is definitely one of those things you want to at least try and get into your muscle memory early. And it's kind of an advanced technique. Like, how do I explain it so like it's kind of clear? Let's see. You consider yourself to have good defense, especially for someone kind of new. You realize it's super key. Yeah, exactly, Pedro. It is super key. And it's exactly why I put it first on my list. Because I was thinking for a while about what I was going to put, whether it was going to be, you know, like combos and stuff like that. But then I was realizing, like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, like, combos aren't as important as defense. Especially, like I said, with Cammy, who can't take any hits. Yeah, implementing delay tech. This might, I don't know. I'm actually thinking that this might be a bit too advanced. I have it on my list here, but it's something you should at least attempt to learn. And what it essentially is whenever you're blocking a hit, like let's say I'm that Ryu, right? I'm blocking a hit, right? What's Cammy's best meaty? Terminator? I'll get into that. I'll get into that like after this pretty much. We'll go into that stuff. Right now I'm just going over like her defensive options. But I am going to be going over her meaties, her combos, frame traps. So if you want to stick around, Terminator, that would be perfect. I assume you use Cammy too, eh? Are you also a Cammy player? Also, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, implementing delay tech might be a little hard. So if you're like really new at the game, I would say don't worry too much about this. But if you're around like goldish, you know what I mean? If you're a gold, you're trying to head to platinum, trying to implement delay tech is probably important. Alright, yeah. And what it essentially is, just to give you like a brief like breakdown of it, I guess I'll go over it later too on like another stream. But you see how like whenever it's essentially whenever you're blocking something, right? This is how I implement it, right? Whenever you're blocking, instead of like teching right away like that, you kind of time your techs with the move you're blocking and you do a delay tech. So let's say if I were to block this, I would do something like that. You see how I delayed my tech like that? So you kind of work with the rhythm. So if I'm blocking something like that, you kind of work with the rhythm of the tech. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of an advanced technique, but I wanted to mention it just because like it is something important to know, just because it helps you defensively, especially at lower levels, because I feel like at lower levels, throw is kind of a guess if you don't delay tech. Whereas if you have the delay tech, it'll help you beat out obvious throw pressure rather than taking it all the time. But I would say I just put it in there just to mention it, but it's not really like a huge like deal breaker. I'd only really worry about it if you're like around, you know, if you're at gold or a little higher and just trying to improve your defensive options. But it's definitely there though. You just started learning Cammy in this game, and you're looking into Cammy. Yeah, okay, cool, dude. Then you're just in time. I just started, and I'm gonna try and go through everything with Cammy. So, if you have any questions while I'm explaining stuff, feel free to ask too, eh? I'll answer any questions. I know I can kind of talk fast sometimes, and I'm kind of like not clear about certain things. Just kind of like how I am, unfortunately. But yeah, if something doesn't make sense, or if you have any questions, just let me know, okay? Alright, so now the next part. So yeah, we went over delay tech a bit. We went over just having good defense, blocking, right? The next thing I want to mention is having an anti-air. Anti-air. So Cammy has two big anti-air options. Technically three, but her two main ones are Cannon Spike, which is her DP, her Dragon Punch, right? And usually the ones used for anti-airs are light. Light's used for crosscut and like catching people jumping in on you. And then heavy is good for catching like far jumps. As you can see the angle right there, right? And her second option, back medium punch. Now I feel like back medium punch used to be a really good button, but then they nerfed it. So I think try to like work on DPing jumps the best you can. Because unfortunately, back medium punch is a simpler thing, just because especially if you're trying to react to jump-ins, going for a quick back medium punch works sometimes, right? Like I use it myself a lot. The problem with it though is, especially since they nerfed it, it has a tendency to stuff. And the thing about it is it's gonna stuff at moments when you really don't need it to stuff. And if this happened to me many times, right? And if I was just more proficient on doing an anti-air DP, it would have helped me in that situation, but rather than me getting stuffed from a full jump in because I tried to do back medium punch. So I would say for the DP section, try and implement DP. And the ways you can do this, practice it, is by doing this. This is kind of how I help myself do it. Let's see. So you go to action control, go to recording, right? However you do that, right? Jab, jab, dash. Okay. We have him doing that, right? Let's see if he does it here. I think I did it on 4. Yeah. So 4, dash, dash. He's doing jab, jab, dash. Okay. Cool. The second thing, all right, we're gonna record is him doing jab, jab, jump, heavy. Okay. And what this is gonna, and what you do is you turn both of them on now. And what I want you to work on, okay? You can try and stuff the dash if you want to, but here I just want you to focus on reacting to the jump when he jumps and DPing it. Like, as you can see, I was too slow there. But you see, it's a good way to like to work on it. As you can see, I got it eventually. But yeah, so set him to do something like that. Reset it every time. You know, you don't have to stuff the dash if you don't want to. If you just want to wait for the, you know, if you just want to like do like footsie range like this and just react to the jump, you can just do that for now. And just work on getting that light kick DP every time. You know, try to get as many jump ins as you can. And always try to reset it so you're always at like this range. And that's a good way to practice it. Alright, there I didn't get it. There I got the jump, right? There I was too late. But yeah, just do that. That's a good way to practice it. At least for now. Obviously there are more advanced ways to practice it too. Like you can implement crosscut DPs and stuff like that, but don't worry too much about that right now, honestly. Just having a good DP for jump-ins like that is something you really want to work on right now. Crosscuts can come later, you know what I mean? So I won't even go into that. Let's see if I can get it one more time. There you go. Perfect. So do something like that. That's how I help myself train, or I've been helping myself train with it. Because unfortunately with me, I rely on back medium punch mainly because I relied on it in season 1 and season 2, right? I didn't play much of season 3, but in season 1 and season 2 it was a really good move. But now not so much, and unfortunately I have a bad habit because of it. Even though like now it's even worse because I'm at a high rank and it's going to be harder for me to deal with it because jumps are more subtle than compared to the like lower ranks. So it's definitely something you should work on if you can. This can sound stupid, but doing this practice is super important. Yeah, exactly. It is super important. You may seem like, oh well, you know, how is this gonna help me? Because when it comes down to it, it's just about training your muscle memory. So when you're in the heat of the moment, because in the heat of the moment, you're not gonna just be standing here reacting, like, you know what I mean? You're not just gonna be like, I'll just wait. Sometimes people jump like at random times. Like you can't predict jumps all the time, right? But if you train your muscle memory through something like this, you'll have it in your head when you see the jump, your fingers will essentially move on their own, and you get that clean DP. And that's how you eventually develop a good anti-air game. Because no one starts off with having a really good anti-air game. There's some people that have good reactions, obviously, just naturally, and that helps. But everyone has to put in the practice to have good anti-airs. It's not something you're just going to be born naturally with, so. That's one thing I wanted to mention. That's another important thing. Anti-airing with DP instead of using back medium punch. Not saying you can never use back medium punch. It's there. It's an option. But I would say work on this first. This is just secondary. This shouldn't, like, I advise not even like really relying on it. You want to rely on this, but this is also an option. You know, I'm not saying it's never gonna work. It works sometimes, but this should be your go-to. And what else? And then the last thing on defense I'm gonna talk about, and there's a reason why I put this right at the bottom for defense. Okay, is EXDP and wake up jab. I know you're saying, wait, Triforce, you just talked about blocking. Yeah, I did. But at the same time, you can't be always blocking. Because if you're just always blocking, then your opponent's going to be like, hey, this guy just always blocks. Now, don't get it twisted. When I say this, I'm not saying, okay, well, he's contradicting himself. I'm not, because I still am saying you want to block more than anything else, right? But at the same time, it is also good to have an EXDP in there sometimes and a wake up jab. But the times you're going to use it are going to be so, like, it's going to be like, the point is you're going to do it at times where they're going to work because their opponent's not expecting it. You know what I mean? When I'm getting hit by EXDPs at a high level, I'm really not expecting it. If I'm facing someone who's obvious with their EXDPs and I'm just baiting them all the time, that means they just have bad defense and they're doing it at a really bad time. But I'm mentioning it because it is something that's there. I don't want something to be like, well, I'm never gonna ever do anything on wake up. I'm never gonna try and contest with especially EXDP, because it's your best get off me tool because it's invincible, right? Which essentially means if someone's like coming in on you, with like Ryu for example, right? Or if they're pressuring you, this will just nullify all the pressure. But again, you don't want to rely on it because this puts you in crush counter state. That's a big combo. You pretty much die after the next guess. So this and this are an option. You know, wake up, jab, and EXTP are an option. But again, you don't want it to be your go-to. You don't want it to be your habit. Okay? Alright, and that's pretty much it on defense, you know? So block more, block a lot. Block, okay? Block on wake up. Don't press buttons. Don't EXTP all the time, okay? Yeah, exactly. Like a Vax gamer saying, use EXTP once, then your opponent has to begin to respect you on wake up. Exactly. That's pretty much it. It's one of those, it's like your wild card, you know what I mean? If you're a lord, like I said, yeah, think of it like your wild card. I'm not going to go into like doing it 2 times in a row because that's crazy stuff. But think of it like your wild card. It's not going to be, it's like your tactical nuke type thing, right? It's not going to happen all the time, and when it does happen, yo, you just got that breathing room, okay? But you don't want it to be like, oh, as soon as I have meter, I got to EXDP, because then you're just obvious and you're building bad habits. Same with wake up jab. Wake up jab is another option. Because you can catch someone off on their meaty pressure and stuff like that. Yeah, use it sparingly. So yeah, block, okay? Using DP to anti-air, okay? Implementing delay tech at like a higher, if you're trying to get like to those higher ranks, try to implement the delay tech, right? And I kind of showed up what it is. It's essentially delaying your throw tech. So instead of like, oh, I think they're going to throw, let me tech right away, you're just waiting a bit. So if they're coming in for the pressure, you're waiting a little bit, tech. You know what I mean? You wait a little bit, tech. You wait a little bit, tech. Okay? That's essentially what delay teching is. And then obviously the last thing, you can use EXDP and wake up buttons. But that's your wild card. Use it sparingly. Use it when you're like, okay, this guy's being really obvious. I have to show him he has to respect me on my wake up. I'm going to use my EXDP. Okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is Cammy's neutral. Specifically her neutral buttons. So this is going to be these are going to be the buttons you're going to be using when you're in this range. So this is kind of like footsie range, right? When you're in this range, you know, you're playing footsie with someone, you're kind of getting a feel of like how they're playing, where their play style is. Do they like to jump a lot? Do they like to like dash in? You know what I mean? How are they as a player, right? And Cammy's go-to neutral buttons are obviously standing medium kick. It's like her farthest reaching poke, I believe, right? It's fast too. So it's really good at just like being really oppressive in neutral. And it's really good at like whiff punishing things quickly from a far range. So let's say like a Ryu's like, you're at this range and the Ryu's like whiffing sweep. You just walk into range and then use that. It's a really good pressure tool. The downside being though, if you're obvious with the timing, you can eat a jump in. If they jump in preemptively, right? So you want to kind of like, you don't want to use it, like you don't just want to spam it like crazy, is what I'm trying to say. Try and be smart with it. Try to use it in like a rhythm, you know what I mean? Kind of like work with there, block, see what they're doing, go in, poke, you know, walk in, maybe walk out, see if they're trying to bait you, you know what I mean? Walk in, and then maybe a jump, right? That's Cammy neutral in a nutshell, honestly. Especially working with standing medium kick. It's a really good poke. And then her next neutral button, which is really good. I would consider it even better than standing medium kick, obviously. It's crouching medium kick. This is an amazing crouching medium kick. Compared to most characters, this thing is godlike, mainly because from like this range, for example, or like this range, you can cancel into like a full spiral arrow and get pressure after. Get good Oki. So crouching medium kick is definitely her like go-to neutral. This is gonna be your whiff punish button. This is gonna be your I'm catching them walking forward button. This is gonna be your I'm impressing them in neutral button. Like this is your everything, dude. This button is really good. Learn to love this button, especially in neutral. I notice a lot, especially at lower levels or even at higher levels, right? A lot of Cammies neglect using medium kick, standing medium kick, and crouching medium kick. And honestly, these tools alone can help you win matchups. I'm not even joking when I say that. You can pretty much win matchups just by using this and this. And Cammy's walk speed and obviously in DP. So yes, Cammy is a hyper aggressive rushdown character, but at her, like, she has tools where she can literally just lay me out in the neutral and play like this. So I feel like being able to have a good, strong neutral game along with good pressure makes the perfect Cammy. Like, that's how you want to play Cammy. You don't want to be too oppressive on your offense, too obvious, too like rush down, but you also don't want to be too lame too, right? Because then like you just might as well play Dawson. You want to find that perfect balance. You want to be able to be like the jack of all trades in a way, where like your opponent just never knows what's coming with you. You know what I mean? They never know if you're gonna start going really in on them, like and fucking them up on defense, or if you're just gonna lame them out in neutral and react to things and whip punish, right? So you kind of want to be like that kind of Cammy, and having these tools is perfect. So like I said, crouch, standing medium kick, good poke for just being oppressive in the neutral, walking in and out, using it. You know what I mean? There's also never a real right way to use it, right? I know at lower level it gets a bit confusing because some people really don't know, like, oh, but when should I be playing neutral? It's definitely something that comes with experience, honestly, because it's kind of like it's nothing that's like, it's kind of like a timing thing, like, you know, your opponent's respecting you, you know they're gonna be on the ground type of thing, right? So for the most part, I would say if your opponent, before you even get into the neutral aspect of it, the defense part comes in that if they're jumping a lot, you show them, hey, stop jumping, I'm ready to DP you, right? If then they're showing that they're respecting you, they're willing to not just jump every time, this is when you can force them to play the neutral game. But it's one of those things where I'd say look for like how they play first before you just go right into playing the neutral with them, right? Because then you can see, are they on the ground, are they just pressing a lot of buttons, or are they going to jump a lot? Do I have to work on my DPs more to show them like, hey, I'm going to stop you from jumping? And if they're not showing any of that, then you can be like, okay, let me try to work my way in with my neutral, with my normals and neutral. All right. So yeah, so standing medium kick, and then obviously crouching medium kick, your godsend, because like crouching medium kick with the heavy spiral, godlike. He's blocking it now, but if he wasn't blocking it, you get like a fat Oki after. See, perfect. So you know we're playing in this. And what's also good about crouching medium kick is they're low profile. So let's say they're committing to like standing hard, like if it's a Ryu, he's committing to standing hard kick to get a crush counter. If it's a move that doesn't hit low, and that's a lot of like heavy kick moves, like Chun-Li for example has that too to stop jumps. It's really good at catching like preemptive pressure like that, because you just walk in and you do crouching medium kick, and even if they whiff it at the same time you're going for it, because crouching medium kick is low, you beat them. So it's like zero risk in that aspect. Let's see, neutral footsies can only be played with 2 people. You have to force your opponent to play the neutral first. Exactly what Advanced Gamer said there. You gotta force them to play the neutral. And if they never want to play the neutral, you just won the game. Your opponent's helping you win. If your opponent is the type of person who's so uncomfortable with the neutral, and you see it a lot, even at high level, you know, obviously at higher level, people have to play neutral to a certain extent, but like at higher ranks is what I'm saying, like on ranked match, you see people who just are not comfortable playing that neutral game. And they'll do everything in their power to try and get that jump in. So being able to establish the shutdown first with the defense, with good DPs, and then making them be like, okay, I have to respect this Cammy, he's gonna fuck me up. If I don't, that's when you can start oppressing them with your pokes and just getting in on there. So yeah, so that's standing medium kick, crouching medium kick. And then the next button, obviously, standing hard punch. Standing hard punch is a really good whip punish button. It whip punishes a lot of stuff. Considering because it's fast, it doesn't really, I believe her hurt box is like, I don't know if it reels it back, but it's really hard to whip punish this move. Look how fast it is, you know what I mean? And because of how fast it is, like, let's have Ryu do, let's have him do a move, right? Let's have him do, like, crouching medium kick, okay? We're playing footsies. Cool. Have him do that. So, we're playing footsies. Trying to... Stubby Ryu, man. He's so stubby. There, perfect example, right? It's a really good move. It literally outranged Ryu's crouching medium kick. So that's why it's such a good normal. Just because of how like quick it is. You know, I'm kind of out of range there, but yeah, you get the point. It's a really good whiff punishing normal. So it's just good to know that to have in your arsenal, and it's easy to empty cancel. And I guess I should bring this into like the next part that I want to talk about. Let's see. So yeah, space control, right? So where you essentially want to stand with Cammy if you are playing neutral with someone, you don't want to stand too far away. You don't want to push yourself to like this far away, right? We're not Dulcim. We can't threaten with them. We can't threaten anything here, right? Even here, it's nothing. You can't really do much here, right? Where you ideally want to stand with Cammy, if you're playing neutral, is like here. Like there. There is a perfect place to stand if you're playing neutral with Cammy. Just right outside, or even just right outside standing medium kick range is how I would put it. If you're looking for a gauge. So work on trying to stand at this range whenever you're fighting most characters. Obviously, it's a case-by-case thing because some characters have better normals. Like if I'm fighting Abigail, for example, I might stand a little bit back more. But in general, you want to stand just outside crouching medium kick range, maybe a little bit back. Why? The reason is, obviously, you can walk in and out easily, right? Threaten that. Threaten crouching medium kick, right? And even threaten a good dive kick. Because of that range, right? Dive kick can catch a lot of stuff. And if you're like quick with it and you do it instant like that, you can get like a nice combo, and if they block it, you'll be plus. So being able to like work on your spacing and always make sure you're at this perfect range is key. It's because this is where Cammy threatens the most, because you can walk in easily. You know, if you have them respecting you, they're scared. Maybe they're waiting for dive kick now because you got them so many times with like EX dive kick and stuff like that. It gets you at a perfect range to go like, okay, now I'm going in and doing that, right? So space control, stand just outside of standing medium kick range. Maybe a little bit back. So like that. And then you're golden. That's Cammy's like golden spacing. And of course, case by case type of thing too. Depending on the character, like I said, if I'm fighting Abigail who has longer normals, I'll stand like here maybe. Right? But for the most part, this is where you want to stand with Cammy. And this will get me next into like empty canceling. What empty canceling pretty much is, at least this is what I think it's like buffering. I guess buffering normals is what it's called too. I call it empty canceling. But it's when you're essentially, so you look at my inputs. You see when I'm doing that? What I'm essentially doing is I'm doing my crouching medium kick and I'm inputting heavy kick spiral, right? And what that essentially does is if they're being obvious with their pressure, or maybe they're just like, they're always being obvious with when they walk in, it kind of is like a low committal way for me to like make sure I get my cannon, my spiral arrow to come out, instead of me having to rely on my hit confirms, right? I do the same thing with heavy punch too, you see there? So that's just something good to have, just especially if you're out of range, because let's say I'm playing footsies with Ryu, right? And let's say we're playing footsies, blah, blah, blah. I do a block string and I stand at this range and I do this. The only way I'm gonna get a hit, even if he walks forward, he's not gonna run into this and block, right? The only way I'm gonna get a hit here is if he overcommits, he does a dash in, or he presses like a slow button or something, right? And then I get the whiff punish. So it's kind of like a low commit just to like empty cancel once in a while. Especially after like a block string, or if you're just out of range for anything, right? Obviously, if they're more keen to seeing that you're not reacting, especially if you're at closer ranges, I wouldn't really advise using it too much, just because it's easier to bait with like a walk-up block, right? So it's definitely something you can implement, but at the same time, be wary of when you're doing it. If at close range, I wouldn't advise doing it, especially with crouching medium kick, just because it's so easy to walk and block. Maybe with hard punch, just because like, even if they gotta commit, because like it's such a like the range they gotta go into the walk and block of that. Sometimes they even get tagged by it and they get hit trying to walk in. Like it's a really good normal. So if you're at like closer range, I advise using empty canceling with hard punch. Is a better option. And the way you can work on it too is just go into training mode and just like just work on it. Do your medium kick. Do like spiral, and then if you're doing it right, the spiral won't come up. If you're doing it too slow, that would happen, right? So if you're doing it too slow, that will happen, you know, like, oh, I did it wrong, right? Yo, what's up, Louise? Thanks for stopping by. We're just talking about empty canceling right now, or like buffering pretty much, which is what, I guess you know what it is. Most Cammies are accustomed to this because it's such a good tool to have, especially with crouching medium kick. A lot of them will do, like, they'll stand at this range and they'll do that, right? Or like I said, they'll be up close and do something like that. So that's really good to have. Let's see what else. So he's talked about buffering, we talked about where to stand. All right, that's pretty much it when it comes to like spacing. Okay. And now, all right, we're gonna get into what Terminator was asking about, right? Terminator, you're asking about like her Oki options, I believe, right? Let's see. Yeah, her best meaties, right? Yeah. So now we're gonna be talking about her Oki and her combos. This is the meat potatoes of Cammy. This is pretty much what everyone else would wanna. Everyone likes learning about. I know I kind of went on about like the defense and like the spacing and stuff like that, but you know that to me, like I said, in order of importance, to me, those two things are more important than learning the combos right away. So, yeah, okay, cool. All right, so now, right? Now we're just gonna go over Cammy's basic pressure tools. What does she use when she's in there? You know, what's your starter? You're in their face. Well, first button, standing medium punch. This is your go-to. This is your baby. You want to implement this. If you're gonna be pressuring Cammy first, and you're just learning her, this is the first thing you want to learn. Okay? Standing medium punch, not crouching medium punch. I see people go for crouching medium punch, right? It's not good. The reason is less frame advantage on block. First off, like let's have him guard all. Way less frame advantage. You're +3 on standing medium punch. You're only +1 on crouching. So that means if he's pressing a button, you get nothing. See, we're trading there. Whereas standing medium punch, right? You get a tick throw. You get combos like that, right? It's a really good button, and it should be your go-to. Like if you're just starting off Cammy, you don't know where to start when it comes to like combos and pressure. This button should be where you start. This button right here, standing medium punch, okay? And I'll show you some basic combos of that actually. So let's have them right off. So we'll go through all the combos. First combo, okay? This is gonna be your most basic combo. It's not the most optimal route for this combo, but it's a good start for, let's say, if you're starting out with Cammy, right? I'll show you the optimal version too if you want to practice that. But this is a good, like, hey, I'm learning Cammy, okay? Standing medium punch, crouching medium punch, heavy kick spiral arrow, okay? Standing medium punch, crouching medium punch, heavy kick spiral arrow. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, why heavy kick spiral? Why don't we go for like, I don't know, why not medium? Why not medium or light or whatever, right? The reason is you get the best Oki from heavy kick spiral. There are very specific circumstances where you can use medium, but for the most part with Cammy's B&Bs, outside of the corner, you want to go for heavy spiral arrow all the time. The times when you don't go for it are in the corner, and when you're in the corner for the most optimal damage, you know, you don't have to do this, but if you want to be the most optimal Cammy you can be, you go for hard kick DP, okay? So outside the corner, always hard kick spiral. Always hard kick spiral, okay? In the corner, DP. But of course, only if you feel comfortable learning. It can be tough, especially with that combo, because even the DP motion is a bit tough. But that's like the most optimal like routes if you're learning Cammy right now. But if you just want to practice doing this, you know what I mean? Just getting down the spiral arrow, the heavy spiral, that's okay too. And then what's your go-to? I guess I'll talk a bit about the Oki here then. I was gonna go with it. I was gonna talk about it after, but I guess now's a good time to implement it. So when you want to go with Oki with Cammy, like her go-to Oki options, and if you're not sure, if you don't know what Oki is, it's just pretty much like what you can do on Wake Up. That's essentially what it means. It's like what you can get off Wake Up. So like something like that, right? Hard kick does the most damage if both hits of the spiral arrow land. Yeah, exactly. So there are certain combos where like only one will hit, and you want to use medium or light instead, right? So anyways, her best Oki options, right? Her best options to do after you get heavy spiral is a dash in, like I did. One dash, not two, not three, just one. Okay. And let's set him to do random recovery. So what that pretty much means is whenever he's getting up, he's either going to do quick get up like that, or he's going to do a back roll like that. Okay. Randomly. And what you want to do, right? Let's say we're doing a combo Cammy, dash up, medium punch. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of characters, you know what I mean, kind of have to like really gauge when the opponent's getting up, and there's certain Oki options they can get. Cammy, all she really has to do is react to the get up. As you can see there, I'm reacting too slow, right? But all you have to do is react. There I reacted to the back roll, dash up. There I dashed a little bit too slow, but I fucked it up. But yeah, all you gotta do is react. So this is a good way to practice. This is what I do. I set the dummy to do a random recovery, right? Randomly perform a recovery when knocked down. So set it to that on recovery. And I set them to do wake up. So in Ryu's case, I set him to do reversal wake up jab, because that's as fast as normal. And what that helps me do is it helps me perfect my timing, so I always know I'm hitting it properly. Because if I don't have it on reversal timing, it means it's coming out a little slow, and that can mess up your timing too, right? So you want him to have reversal jab on wake up, so you can just practice doing this. And you just want to practice till you're consistent. If you don't feel comfortable doing the random right away, you can also set it to a specific wake up if you just want to practice the dash in, right? So in this case, I'll just set it to like normal, right? You know, it's go at your own pace, right? If you only feel comfortable learning that right now, do that. If you feel like, okay, I'm pretty consistent with getting the normal wake up, maybe now let me try the back wake up. You can do that too, right? Just to like help you learn like the timing for that. See, I had to delay it a bit. Right? And once you feel you're proficient at both of those, that's when you can add in randomly perform a wake up. And you can make it harder for yourself. Because then this will really test your ability to react to the wake up and how consistent you can be with it. Alright? So bam bam dash, bam bam dash after the spiral. Now you don't have to, I should mention, in the corner you don't have to dash. But I feel like it's tough to kind of, unless you've played the character for a long time, it's tough to gauge like the timing of it. That's why I say just always do the dash, just so you can always consistently get the timing. But once you're at a higher level and you feel more comfortable with it, then yeah, obviously you can just do like a walk up like me and just time it manually. Let's see. Kira, you ready for Bloodborne? Not tonight, but I'm thinking Friday. I'll message you, Kira. We'll see what happens. Because I'm not sure if I want to, because I'm kind of feeling like playing ranked, honestly. But we're definitely going to do it soon. Probably Saturday. I think Halloween is Saturday, right? So that would actually be the perfect time to do it, if you're free, of course. But yeah, we'll do it soon though, man. Definitely. I can't wait. Can't wait to get pwned. Does SA guarantee always Oki? It does always guarantee Oki. Okay, I should mention, if both the hits of hard kick hit, it's always guaranteed Oki. Where it may not always hit is in circumstances like that. Or let me see if I can get it to only hit once. Alright, let me do medium as an example. Like there, right? It still works though. You just gotta change your timing up a bit, but it still works. You know what I mean? You just gotta change up your timing. But it doesn't matter which version hits. If it's the single hit, you gotta change the timing a bit. But for now, just practicing the 2-hit one is a good start. Hard 22, right? Yeah, I'm actually gonna get into that now. Actually, I just wanted to show that off at first, just to like give someone a basic combo to work on. Let you know, yeah, I will, bro. That is after some whip punishing. Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you get like the single hit depending on the circumstance, but it is always guaranteed a dash up meaty. You just gotta change up the timing a bit, but don't worry too much about that. Later on, like I said, if you feel more proficient with this meaty timing, you can obviously practice this too. You know, you eventually want to get it all right. Oh yeah, light kick spiral isn't plus or FW. Yeah, the light kick one. Let's see. I'm saying it says I'm plus there. Let me have him do quick get up. It's definitely not as what's the word? Let me do it from like far away actually. Let me space this out. Let me do something like that. Yeah, okay. The time, like I said, the timing is different, but you still get that dash in though. But you're never gonna be doing that anyways. Some circumstances, yeah, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. But yeah, now I guess I'll go into like her other combos she can get off medium punch. So obviously this is the easy route, right? This is your basic bread and butter. Standing medium punch, crouching medium punch. The next one being standing medium punch, standing hard punch. That's her optimal one. It's a hard kick spiral arrow. So if you want max damage, you go for that. You go into that. Alright? So those are pretty much the two basic ones I have listed. That's all you gotta really know. Oh, and this too. Standing medium punch, crouching medium kick, spiral. That's also another good one. That's good for like, because there are some times where you can hit medium punch from there, and it's kind of hard to get the hard punch, right? Or the crouching medium punch. So that's good at like ranges like this. Like that, see? Something like that. And you see the single hit, bam. So I got that meaty timing down. So that's also good to know. Can I go over the costumes? Yo, have like a Cammy costume tier list one of these days, dude. I'm thinking about doing something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much Cammy's Oki and her like her combos off of medium punch. Oh, and I should say with Oki in the corner, if you do the DP, she gets a dash in too. So that's what I'm saying. You can use DP in the corner, and you get the same Oki pretty much. See, we even set him to do like random wake ups. DP, DP. You know. So yeah. And a good way to work on like hit confirming it, right? Just so you're always on point, is to do something like this. Set the dummy to guard randomly, and just work on like, whenever you see the hit, you do the full combo. Like that, okay? So you can even autopilot if you're learning this one, because this is a block string, so even if you autopilot it, it's not a bad thing. See, like there, for example. But yeah, what else should I talk about? What else am I thinking about? What am I missing? Oh, obviously, I think I got all the combos with medium punch. I did this one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. She doesn't have many combos, unfortunately. Cammy doesn't have that privilege. Oh, we got a lot of people now. Okay, Pedro, catching medium kick essay is GOAT. Yes. I use it so much. Yes, it's really freaking good. Oh, it's Captain. What's up, Captain? Hold on, let me scroll up. My laptop's being a potato right now. Why am I getting a virus scan right now? Can you not do this right now, computer? Thank you. Jesus Christ. You're a potato anyways, I don't care. Alright, see what's going on. Oh look, it's the Master Cammy? Yeah, you already know, Captain. I'm here to give everyone the tech. Certainly he's too good now for random V-Skill 1. Okay, first off, I don't do random V-Skill 1s. So I don't know what you're talking about, it's fake news. Outside the corner... See what he said here, missing person. Okay, what's up, missing person? Outside the corner, DP resets to neutral, so you get no Oki. Yeah, exactly. So outside the corner, if you're doing a DP, you're not going to get anything after, like missing person said. It resets the Oki. I can definitely see that she's a rushdown monster. Yeah, exactly, Terminator. That's exactly what makes her so good, is the fact that she doesn't really have to worry too much about the Oki. It's kind of autopilot, not unfortunately, but fortunately. Lord Slide Kikosha. Yo, Kira. Just heard about the corona. I got scared. Yeah, pretty much, yo. This computer's been having corona, bro. It pretty much started the pandemic, I think. Omar Hard call it like they ain't getting shot here, bruh. Oh no, I'm scared. Yo, hey, you're here saying I do V skills, man. I don't know. Maybe I should make Kira a mod. Oh shit, Captain's a mod too. When did I make you a mod, Captain? I don't remember. The only time you'd be doing DP outside the corner. In a combo is if you're canceling DP and super. Yeah, exactly. I'll get into that after I go over the next combo. So obviously, I went over medium punch, right? Our options with medium punch. The next thing is this right here, baby. Light kick. Light kick, light kick, light kick. Light kick is a monster button. This button is so good. Now, as a combo tool on its own, not so much. Because even on hit, it's only +1, I believe. Or is it more? It's +2, okay. But even then, you can't get anything on hit off +2. Let's have him just not do anything. So it's what makes it good isn't the fact that you can get a combo on its own with it. What makes it good is just that it's just a really good pressure starter in general. You can do it 2 times like that. You can do it 2 times. Walk in for throw. It has a lot of good frame trap options. Like there's an example. You know, it's just a really good button. And I feel like it's something that, especially at lower levels, isn't used a lot. So if you feel like you've mastered your medium punch combo stuff, you know, you're optimizing with it, the next thing you want to do is implement this as a pressure tool. Just to mix up your options. Because if you're too obvious, if you're always going for this, your opponent's just going to be like, okay, I don't have to worry about this guy. But we'll go over light kick. I think that's pretty much... I guess we can go over that now, I guess, eh? Like her Oki, or should I go over that with like block strings? I'll go over light kick of block strings. Just know that it's there. You can't really get combos off of it, but it's there. We'll go over it. We'll go more in depth with it when I'm talking about block strings and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go over it later about the counter hit. Oh, yo, Hyper Fighter rated me. Yo, thanks, Hyper Fighter. Appreciate it, man. You're the GOAT, bro. I hope your stream was good today, dude. I hope you're one step closer to that super diamond, fam. Her walk speed is too fast to deal with, bro. Walk spin and forward. Damn, okay. Orc's in here too. Yo, what's up, Orc? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, right now we're just going over Cammy's basics. I'm kind of doing like a little Cammy's 101 stream today to help all the Cammy lords out there so we can be godlike and never take an L again. Right, did I miss some combos? Alright. Yeah. But most people that get tagged by standing light kick, what'd you say, Missing Person? But most of the people that get tagged by standing light kick don't go to block low after. Yeah, exactly. It's just a really good oppressive tool. Like I said, I'm gonna go into it like after I just talk a little bit more about our combos. So let's just do more combos. I'll just end this section out just showing the rest of our like basic BMBs. So we'll just go in order. So this one, that's for max damage. This one a bit easier, right? What else? If you're looking for a light confirm, jab, jab, spiral. Okay. So jab, jab, like that. That's a good light confirm. Let's say if you're going for a cross up, like that, right? Max damage, something like that, right? The target combo. So this is max damage. So you do cross up, crouching light punch, target combo, which her target combo, I should probably mention that too, is back meaty punch, hard kick, right? So you do something like this, spiral, right? And that's the light kick spiral I'm doing. That's her max damage cross up combo. Please don't teach people how to beat me, bro. I'm here to help everyone, okay? Even if I gotta spill some of the beans. I was on fire and I still lost the glitter. Well, are you guys talking about like glitter? You still losing the glitter, Captain? What's wrong, man? What, you don't know the poison matchup, bro? It's easy. It's easy. I mean, I shouldn't even talk. I lose considerably to poison too, actually. Cammy takes L, says nobody ever, bruh. What are you talking about, Hyper Fighter? She does take a lot of L's. What do you mean? She's the L taking queen, right? She always loses. She actually has one of the lowest win rates on CFN, I think, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I think she does. Definitely my favorite poison. I don't know poison matchup with Cammy. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. But of course, Cammy gets you in the corner. Free GGs, bro. Have a nice day. Some diamond poison in the Redditry. Nice. Anyways, what else? So that's her cross up combo. Right? Max damage. From there, so I guess I'll go through like the max damage like mid-screen combos too. So let's say if you want to spend like her max damage combo off a jump in is that, right? That's without spending meter. If you're spending meter, you want to go for something like this. So target combo to EX Hooligan and then light DP. So that's if you're spending meter. Mind you, you don't if you're new with Cammy, you don't have to learn all of this right away. Start with the basic combos first and work your way up, right? But eventually you should have all of them mastered, of course. So that's a 1 meter, and then if you have 2 meters, that's also max damage for the corner. It's not in the corner actually. Corner has a different route. But the 2 meter option is the same in the corner too. So if I do this, that works in the corner too. And that's for max damage with 2 meters. And obviously, if you want to spend super, do that. And that's the most damage you can get using older meter. And then in the corner, she has this combo. So what I did there is I did a jump in, target combo, light kick spiral, EXDP for the juggle. And that's like your max damage, 1 meter use corner combo. So yeah, that's pretty much all the Cammy's combos. So basic ones, something like that. If you're just new to Cammy, learn that. Learn to confirm this, right? And then try and get light punch confirms in there too. So jab jab, spiral, jab 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 DP. Specifically for cross up, because on cross up you can't really, like, it's hard to time that. So you want to do something like that if you're just starting out with Cammy. All right. And then later on, implement the more tougher things. Like this. If you want the Oki, you go for that. Right? You do the dash in. If you want the damage, DP. Alright? Pretty straightforward. I think that's pretty much it for combos. She doesn't really have a lot of them, honestly. That's pretty much all of them right there. Minus, obviously, V-Trigger, but that has its own section, so. But yeah, that's it. And then obviously I went over like how to confirm. Practice your confirms, obviously, which is just setting the dummy to randomly block, right? Guard randomly. Work on the confirm, whatever combo it is. If it's jab jab, you know what I mean? Don't have them set to not press a button, obviously, so you don't get stuff like that. But yeah, so you just work on that. Confirm that. Perfect. See? I'm a master. I mastered my hit confirm. I'm godlike. Yeah, do that for all your combos till you feel like you're comfortable. But even if you feel like you're comfortable in training mode, you're obviously in the wild is a different story, right? Because in the wild, unfortunately, things don't always go as you plan, right? So unfortunately, you're gonna have times when you're like, oh, I do it perfectly in training mode. Why isn't it working good in like ranked? Because like at the end of the day, you need the experience in rank 2 before it's going to become like proficient enough where you can get it on the fly. But starting in training mode, practicing in training mode is a good start. And then once you're out there in ranked, just make it a what's the word? Make it a habit to always practice it. Even if you're losing, even if you're like, oh, I gotta win, that's not important. Practice your combos, practice your confirms. All right, we got a lot of activity going on right now. Holy, got 14 people here. What's up, guys? All right, yo, what's up, Miguel? How's it going, bro? What is an Oki? Did someone explain for him? Yo, thanks, missing person. Yeah, it's pretty much wake-up pressure. That's what Oki is. And bullshit is fraud shit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thanks. Doing any viewer sets? I probably will after this, if you guys want to run a lounge. I'm down for that. That'd be pretty fun. If you guys are down for a lounge, we can do it after. I'm kind of like behind here, but I think I'm just gonna breeze through everything else, so we can just do that. Cause I'm like halfway through right now, actually. Yo, what's up, Madness? How's it going, bro? Thanks for stopping by, man. Oki, yo, go kill me. I'm doing Oki, thank you, bro. I'm doing Oki. All right, so let's breeze through these. All right, so we went through her confirmed combos, right? The next thing we want to talk about is block string throw game. The reason why I put these in the same category is, even though they're two different things, is because they're pretty much two of the same thing. Let me send them to like guard all, right? Cammy's block strings and Cammy's throw game are like two peas in a pot, because that's essentially how she opens up people. Especially if they're being really stubborn on blocking things, right? And they're not pressing buttons. As you can see, there's one block string. And this is when light kick comes in. Because light kick as a pressure tool, like I said, it sets up your frame traps. Like, I'll go over her frame traps with light kick right now. So this is one frame trap. Standing light kick into crouching light punch. And then the route for that is, that's her full her counter hit combo. So something like that, right? Bam, 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 bam. So if you want to practice something like that, set the dummy to do a button on guard, right? Make sure it's reversal like stand jab, right? If you're picking Ryu. And then practice that. Bam, 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 right? That's her go-to right there. Off light kick. She also has another frame trap, which is back medium punch. And the max damage from that is hard punch. So you do that. Standing light kick, back medium punch, react to the counter hit, hard punch, hard kick spiral. And obviously, like I said, with all these combos, if you're in the corner and you want the extra damage, you do the hard kick DP. Or if you like got the mid screen and you need to kill, hard kick DP, okay? But if you want the Oki all the time consistently mid screen, you gotta do hard kick spiral. You can also do jab off of this too. Jab also works. If you don't feel comfortable reacting with hard punch, you can also do jab. So that's also good. Let's see what else. Don't forget standing light kick, crouching light punch, crouching light kick, standing light punch. Yeah, that's another thing I'm going to mention too. So another good frame trap, right? Or another good option to have, especially if they're walking back, is this. I'll have them not press the button because unfortunately it's not a true block string. But it's still good if you notice they're always walking back on you. That is this. So what this essentially does is if they're walking back, you confirm the light kick and the standing light punch. And you can get Oki after off of like a spiral. So that's another good one. And another thing you could do is medium punch. Medium punch, like I said, it's a good pressure tool, right? Remember earlier I was mentioning the crouching medium punch combo? It's kind of good too because even if you autopilot and they block, it's a frame trap. And the max damage from that is to go for, well, the max damage is to go for hard punch. But if you don't feel comfortable going for hard punch, you can do crouching medium kick too. And then obviously you go for spiral after that. So either this into this, or this into this. And then another one off medium punch is you can do double medium punch. That's also a frame trap. Bam, bam, bam. What else off medium punch? And that's pretty much it actually. I think back, yeah, that kind of works, but you don't get a combo off of it. So just worry about these honestly. And obviously this. Oh, you can also do hard punch too. Hard punch works. So that's all her frame traps off of medium punch, and then off of like light kick is that. All right. So pretty simple. Pretty simple. It's essential to learn frame traps, but I feel like if you're really new to Cammy, you don't have her combos down, learn her combo, her basic B&Bs first, the ones I showed earlier, and then try and implement frame traps. But it's definitely not something you need to learn right away. Definitely steps to it. I got a YouTube or something? Yeah, I do. That's where I'm gonna post this after actually. So if anyone's a bit confused about something and they want to like a little bit of a refresher, they can just look at the VOD after on YouTube and go through it and go find the parts that they didn't understand, or they're not here for the stream or whatever. Same, yo, thanks Retro Gamer too. Yeah, you can do target combo. I think standing medium punch, back medium punch, hard kick would work. Does it really? Standing medium punch, back medium punch, hard kick. Yeah, I guess that works too, eh? Let's see. Why isn't it working? Well, that's weird. Whatever. We won't focus on it right now, though, just because, like, it's... For now, we're just going over, like, her basic frame traps anyways. So, but that's an option, I guess. Alright, you can get the DP. Don't worry about the DP and all that. Just, for now, like I said, if you're learning the basics, you want to get this down. And then, obviously, this. And then this. This is good. Like, it's hard because it's a single hit confirm. You gotta like you don't get like a third thing to confirm. But I use this if I'm trying to activate V trigger, and I notice that they're not respecting me. I'll do something like that. So that's a good V trigger activate. It's definitely not hard to learn Cammy frame traps. Most of her ship frame traps. Yeah, exactly. They are pretty straightforward. She doesn't have like a lot of million combos or frame traps to learn. I don't think it hits early enough for back medium punch or target on. Yeah, probably. It could also be a spacing thing too. Maybe if he's crouching, it works better. That could also be an issue too. Let's look at that actually. Maybe character hitbox too. But anyways, yeah, we're just like it's not super important right now, anyways. Right, so that's our frame traps, right? And now throw game. So now we got some good frame traps, right? We got an idea of like, okay, if I do this, they're pressing buttons, I do that, right? If they're pressing buttons, I do that. If they're pressing buttons, I do that, right? If they're pressing buttons, I do that. Now the next thing I want you to implement into that, once you're comfortable with that, right, is this. Throw. This is so important to Cammy opening up people, it's not even funny. If your Cammy doesn't have a good throw game, your opponent's just gonna block all day, walk back. They're not gonna be scared of anything because they're like, well, this guy doesn't throw a lot anyways, so I don't have to worry. But if you got a good throw game, like something like that, you see, you could be a monster. Obviously, neutral, it resets to neutral, but you're essentially setting up for later on when you're doing stuff like that, right? Because yeah, they might be inclined to take a few throws in the beginning, but once you're like start pressuring them even more, they might be even less inclined, and then that's when you can implement like shimmy and stuff like that. So I'm bringing it up now because like having a good throw game is just as important as having good frame traps and everything, right? If not even more important. So I always have it in mind that if you're gonna go for throw as Cammy, you want to do it within your frame trapping and when you're pressuring, right? You know, do something like that. Let's say he blocked it there and I didn't confirm the hit there. No, or like something like that, right? So just be aware, like let's have him block here just so I can like explain it better. It's not really that optimized. Best grappler in the game. Yeah, exactly. Cammy is a grappler, pretty much, right? She is a grappler because of that. So you see, no pushback, dude. There's like even double light kick. That's another good sequence right there. Because what this catches is a lot of people like to do double tech against Cammy. So this nullifies both attacks, and then you walk up throw and you catch them on them being like, oh, I'm gonna block now. So you do something like that, you know, walk up. You know, if you're doing this, you can even do something like that. If you got them really respecting you, like they're super scared to press buttons, do something like that. Or just one, right? Bam, bam, you know? Bam, bam. Like that's me trying to go for the low. Like this is just, there's a million ways you can mix it up. There's no right way or wrong way to do it, right? That's part of the fun and part of like you as a Cammy player implementing your offense and making it like tricky and making your opponent like always guessing. You don't want to be obvious. You don't want to always be doing it after like a light punch like that, or you know, always after light kick like that, right? Because this is the go-to too. But some people always just do this and then it becomes obvious. You want to mix it up, right? So instead of like just doing this, maybe next time if you're going for the dash up, just go for throw, right? Sometimes it's okay just to go for meaty throw. You don't always have to do a button behind it, you know? Sometimes it's dash up, meaty throw, you know? Or if you're going for the Oki, or like, you know, bam, 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 or, you know, or bam, bam, bam. Something like that, right? If you're trying to bait out a shimmy. And of course, within all of this, you could shimmy too, you know? Something like that. Oh, that was kind of a bad shimmy, but you know, something like that. Something like that. Yeah, so it's customizable. You do with it what you can. I gave you the seeds, right? I kind of gave you like the basic ways to implement it. From there, you can do whatever you like. Mix it up, have fun with it, you know? I mean, you're probably not gonna really use medium punch because it's like, sorry, medium kick, just because like it's kind of minus on block, unfortunately. But I've had people respect even medium kick. Because when you have your opponent so shook from just getting hit by everything, that's when you can just be like, okay, bro, take the throw. It's really fun. Let's see. Double standing light kick with Cammy and Carrion are two of the best tick throws in the game. Also, isn't crouching light punch even on block 2? It makes it really dangerous to go for throw setups from it. Yeah, exactly. So crouching light punch used to be a really good option when it was plus. Unfortunately now it's 0, It doesn't mean you won't. It doesn't mean, honestly, yes, it's 0. A lot of people don't contest it though. Mainly because it's not, you can, first off, you can chain it like that to make it safe. See, I'm +2 there, right? And I can do something like that to catch someone pressing buttons. And if they're gonna call you out on it, they have to have really big, like, that would be a really big brain if they're gonna call you out on that. And if they are calling you out on that, you're probably being too obvious with your pressure. But it is something good to know though, that yeah, technically wise, you're 0 there and you don't really get pressure. But again, you know, something like that, you know, bam bam, walk up throw, bam bam, shimmy, right? It's still somewhat viable. Let's see. Can it be so broken if her throws gave her okay? Yeah, well, they did at one point. I think in season 3, she got Oki in the corner after throw. So it was just a loop in the corner. Yeah, yeah. Imagine then in season 2 when that did happen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she used to be a monster in season 2, dude. Remember also anywhere +2 EX dive kick in season 1? You can hit there and be +2. Hit like there on +2. Dude, Cammy was wild, bro. She's still really good in season 2. She was good up until season 4. Then they nerfed her pretty hard. Yeah, exactly. Cammy's still a very good character. I think she's at like a good spot right now. You know, she's got nerfed to a point where like, you know, okay, she got her nerfs, but it's nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? She's in a good spot right now. She's just like every other dumb character in this game. Compared to her like a character like a Rashid. And then yeah, there's no comparison. But yeah, so that's block strings and throw. They're pretty much 2 of the same things, honestly. You know? And like I said, I put on my notes, take the throw LOL, because honestly, at higher levels, people know to take the throw from Cammy, because that's kind of one way to nullify having to deal with massive damage in Oki. At lower levels, maybe not so much, because people may be obvious with like just their patterns in general. So if you notice, like, you want to mix it up. If you notice they're always teching your throws, right? That's when you want to mix it in with like a shimmy instead. And Cammy's go-to shimmy is walk back, hard punch. Let's have him tech after block. Let's record that actually. So, have him mash that tech. Okay, I don't want Cammy near me. I don't want to take the 2 damage. Yo, Onion Desu, what's up? Thanks for the follow too, I appreciate it. I guess you also use Cammy too, eh? Onion? Come on, she makes up for mix-ups. Yeah, exactly. Plus, if you hit it lower, yes, it does. I'll go over dive kick soon. Actually, we'll get there soon. I'll have a whole thing about dive kick too. But yeah, I guess guys can mention it too. Cammy, yep. All right, cool. We're kind of like in the middle of it right now, but later on, I'm gonna post the whole VOD onto YouTube, so you can go there and kind of like go over what you might have missed earlier, and just kind of like fast forward through other parts and stuff like that, right? So if you're missing some things here, you can just check it out later. All right, what was I talking about? Yeah, so if they're noticing you're noticing now, okay, they're always taking my throw, that's when you implement the shimmy, okay? And shimmy is important because, oh yes, I was going to actually demonstrate shimmy. I gotta re-record it. Or did I do the wrong one? Okay, there. Alright. Cammy's basic shimmy. Alright. Cammy's basic shimmy. Walk back, hard punch, spiral, or DP depending on if you need damage or if you're in the corner. Right? Learn to react to the throw tech. Don't autopilot it. It's a very bad habit. That's gonna, in the long run, it's better to have the reaction to it rather than being autopilot, because if you're autopilot with it, you're more susceptible to getting countered for it, okay? So like I'm doing here, you see how I set up the dummy to do that, right? So what I like to do is, maybe you could set him, I think you could set him to just do a jab, right? So set him to do a jab instead. So now we have both of them. Okay. Something like that. Alright, see? React, okay? So do something like that to help you react to the shimmy. It's a great way of doing it. sorry you're late. You're helping a good buddy with his assignment. No, it's no problem, bro. Yeah, you're the guy I talked to on Discord, right? Yeah, it's no problem, dude. School comes first, man. We can learn the tech later on. You know what I mean? Street Fighter is always gonna be around, right? But yeah, I appreciate you coming through. If you do an off-standing light kick, you don't have to do as big as a walk as other characters. She can micro walk it too. Yeah, exactly. And her walk speed's so good too that it's like, bruh. See what I mean? It's like, ooh, you can walk in so easily. Like I love like Cam. That's why Cammy's such a monster. Like this walk speed is why Cammy is so like oppressive. The walk speed combined with like walk up throw, you know, walk up pressure like that. Like that's just what makes her a monster. And we haven't even gotten to dive kick yet. Isn't that crazy? I always put it this way: the dive kick came after Cammy. Cammy was already a character before the dive kick. If you ever played like ST Cammy in a nutshell was pretty much tick throw haven. She had good walk speed. Her anti-air was pretty okay, right? And her confirms off of like medium kick were godlike because of spiral, right? She wasn't the best character in ST, but that was pretty much her game plan, along with like her tick throw, right? And then later on, they're like, you know what? Give her this. she needs something like that actually. Let's give her that dive kick. Yeah, exactly. Really good shit to know. And that's why if you're defending against Cammy, like this is to help people who maybe want to defend against her, just take the throw, man. Always take the throw. That's the way I approach the Cammy matchup. Obviously, if you're gotta guess for game, you gotta guess for game. Everyone gotta guess for game eventually, right? But if you're like in the early stages, take the throw, dude. Take that neutral reset. You're Ryu. You got all this HP, right? Take that damn throw. Make me work for my next option. See, I tried to dash in there, I got bodied for it. You know what I mean? Make me work for my wins. You taking the throw mid-screen is making me work for my wins. You falling for shimmy early, you know? Oh man. Alright, there you go. You falling for a shimmy early is essentially just bringing you closer to losing. Hey, weave back and forth to shimmy them. Exactly. And you could even do a double shimmy. I do this sometimes, you know? Da-da-da, bam. Something like that, right? It's so godlike. So good. Dive kick is character. Yeah, wait, trust me. We'll get into dive kick eventually. It literally has its own section, so. Yeah, don't beat Taquito and not tech 5 times in a row. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Or Daigo. Remember when Daigo? Well, he didn't. What was it against Phenom? He didn't tech though. His was more of like, oh dude, I got hit by 5 command grabs in a row. How much do you instant dive kick on pad? How do you instant dive kick on pad? Well, you know what, Terminator, we'll get to that when we get to dive kick, which I think is actually next. I'll answer all your dive kick questions, alright? Reason, stop posting like, oh, I think I got, do you want to be famous link bullshit? Alright, cool. Alright, next up, yeah, so when's dive kick coming up? Alright, dive kick is pretty much near the end, but you know what, the next thing I'm going through, I'm just going to go through really quickly. So we went over throw, we went over her, like, everything else, right? Next thing I'm going to go over is V-trigger and V-skill, okay? Really quickly. Cammy's V-trigger. V-trigger 1, godlike. Really fast, really quick dive kick. Does a lot of damage. You get good combos off of it, conversions. And even if they block it, like let's have them not press a button. Even if they block it, damn, look at that, I'm +5, mom. Godlike V-trigger, okay? This is going to be your go-to. I should mention, V-trigger 2 is also okay. It's not as good as this V-trigger, but it is an option. Unfortunately, I don't know much about V-trigger 2, so I'm not going to be explaining it very much because I'm not a master at V-trigger 2 Cammy. But if you want to see a Cammy that uses V-trigger 2 at high level, I would recommend looking at Delta Red, searching him up on Twitch. He's a really good Cammy, and he exclusively uses V-trigger 2. So if you feel like you're not really feeling the nuclear warhead dive kick or the nuclear warhead spiral arrow, and you kind of want to try something else, yeah, you could definitely use V-trigger 2. I just, unfortunately, I don't know much about it, so yeah, I don't use it at all, really. Have Nightbot delete comments and links. Yeah, exactly. The only person I've seen use V-Trigger 2 make it serious is Xiao Hai. Yeah. Does Xiao Hai use it? I didn't know Xiao Hai uses it. It is godlike. Terminator. Oh, Terminator. This move. Especially if you can time it instantly. It's kind of hard to kind of get that timing, but you want to work on like getting the instant dive kick, right? You can't consistently anti-air this. If you're obvious with it, it can get baited out. I should mention, if you're like these people that like right away you jump, you can get DP'd obviously. But at the same time, I've had moments where like people try to anti-air that and they get stuffed. It's just, I myself have got hit by it just because sometimes people block it cross up just because of the heat of the moment, right? So it's really freaking good. And obviously the spiral is good too, because look at this, right? It's fireball invincible, first off. So I think I have him here doing a fireball, I believe. Let's see. Damn, get punished, full screen, doing fireball. Even if you have it activated already, react, get that full screen punish, right? So both versions of it, the dive kick and the spiral, are both really good because they're both super fast. And I should mention the DP too. The DP is also really good because it's good at catching. Let's say if you want to react to a jump in, but you're not confident, you just do that. DP. You know what I mean? Give yourself some time. DP. Use it in certain matches. Okay. Today you're parried several times. Yeah. So you can't be obvious with it because there are workarounds of it. But of course, like it's with everything, right? Everything has ways to beat it, right? It doesn't mean it doesn't make it any less good. Doesn't mean you're still not gonna hit it more often than not, right? It all depends on the opponent. You gotta adapt. I used a DHMTL 2 years ago on Dude's Guile, and then something happened with it that caused the V-Trigger 2 to lose him a set at the end. Oh man. They also made V-Trigger 2 better. It used to be 3 bars, now it's 2, so it's a little bit more viable than before. Because now you can actually use V-Reversal with it. Doing V-Trigger Cannon Strike. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you don't want to be too obvious, obviously, like with most things. But either way, it's a really good option. And then I should show you the routes with it too. So to make your best use of it, right? Because I feel like a lot of times people do something like this. At least I notice in lower level, they do something like this, right? Something like this, like let's say they get the dive kick. Sorry, let's say they do something like this, you know? And they do the full thing, right? That's all if I could confirm. I advise you, if you can, right? Because there's some circumstances where you can't save it. Like let's say if you do this. Most of the time I commit, right? But you actually don't have to. It's actually a bad habit of mine for me to commit to that. Because you can actually save it and go for something like that. And save the meter, right? You don't actually have to always use the V-Trigger after the dive kick. But that's something I'm still working on. Or I think you can even do like sweep. Yeah, something like that, right? Not the best Oki, but what I'm trying to get at is try to save the second part of your V-Trigger if you're not going to kill. So if you're getting a confirm like this, and you're not going to kill, instead of going for the DP right away and spending all your V-Trigger gauge and throwing it out the window, save it, right? Save it so you can get another opportunity to do something like that, right? Get some damage into a DP super, right? Just so you have something extra to threaten your opponent with, rather than throwing it all away right away for like a combo that's only going to do like what? Dude, what if you do 300 damage? You know what I mean? It's not worth it. Timer probably gets a lot better if you can master instant air dive kick. Being plus that easily is no joke. Yeah, exactly. Especially the V-Trigger version. If you can get it hitting as low as possible, it's really good. Because a lot of times what I do is I do something like this. I activate. Let's say he's blocking, right? I activate, do something like this, wait a bit, do something like that. Or like I vary my timing, you know what I mean? Do something like that. Then like there I try to do it. I was too slow. Something like that, right? There's been a lot of times I've caught people pressing buttons there because they see the small gap. They get like happy. They're like, oh, let me press a button, and bam, they get hit by the instant dive kick, right? So it's really good to try and practice that. Use half the V-Trigger arrow. Save the rest for Hokey. Yeah, exactly. Unless you're gonna kill, right? But even then, there are other options too, because you can use like, let's say if you're What else? Let's say if you have super, right? Something like this, right? Get the combo, go into super, right? Acceleration finish. Alright, we're going in again. Damn, I just won the game. Alright? So there are multiple ways to use it. And obviously, like, I guess I'll show like good combos off of it. You can obviously do that. Into DP again. The spiral into super. Well, I didn't get the super, but you can cancel. You can either do EX. Let's say if you only have 1 bar, you can use meter and do EXDP or do super after the spiral arrow. And obviously, off of that, you can go for like a combo like that. And if you hit the DP, this is actually something new they added. If you hit the DP, you can do a cannon strike in the air and get a combo like that. So there are a few ways you can do. You can get some damage with this super. Sorry, with this V trigger that are pretty good. Fortunately, like I said, V trigger 2, I don't have much info when it comes to that. So unfortunately, I can't really tell you much with it. But like I said, if you're interested in seeing a Cammy that does use V trigger 2, definitely check out Delta Red's Cammy. This almost makes me want to play Street Fighter 5 again. You should, Miguel. What are you talking about? I've been trying to get you back into the game for so long, bro. And honestly, like, you know, it'd be fun again to try and have a new student. And I'm gonna be doing more of these streams, so you can ask me any questions whenever you want. Let's see, Hyperfighter. Hey, I'm going to head out now, man. Thank you for the tips. I'll check them on YouTube as well, man. Good night for now. See you Saturday if you're around. Yeah, okay, thanks. Nope, thanks for stopping by, Hyperfighter, and I appreciate the raid, man. Yeah, I'll post it up on YouTube if you want to give it a look. Let's get more info, but yeah, I appreciate it, bro. So dog shit at it though. Hey, guess what? A lot of people are, man. There are a lot of people that are bad at the game. I'm bad at the game, dude. Don't let that master rank fool you. I still have a long ways to go. You know what I mean? But we're all learning. Her legend, if you can get a deep anti-air V-trigger DP into die kit, you can confirm super from it. But I have to make it happen. Yeah, that is possible. You can also combo to as an example, like something like this. If you get target combo, do I set it dull guard? Yeah. Okay. DP, come down like that, super. That works. Or EXDP. So yeah, that's definitely an option. I don't go for it a lot though. It's very situational, but it is an option though. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks, Hyperfighter. Is Cammy good for new players? Because I feel like an accidental drill makes it too punchable. What are you saying, man? For new players, because I feel like she is really good for new players. I would honestly say she's better. She's better for beginners than a lot of characters. Mainly because her game plan is so like straightforward, and she has really good tools in neutral. She does decent damage, right? And then her rushdown aspect and her comeback factors are also very good. So she has trade-offs considering she is a glass cannon, as you said, like not being able to convert, like spiral arrow being super unsafe on block, for example. But hold on, let me close my door actually. I'll be right back. Yeah, even though she has those faults, she makes up for it for the fact that she's a really good rushdown character, good damage, right? And yeah, just in general, good rushdown character, good damage, good normals, good neutral buttons, very good DP, good comeback factor, amongst other things. From seeing, Cammy's game plan is pretty simple, but she's hard to master. Exactly, Terminator got it spot on. Cammy has a simple game plan, but hard to master. Exactly. If I were to put it into any words, that's exactly how I'd put it. Is that light kick super? Yeah, I did light kick super after the combo there. Might give it another go. I need a game to grind anyway. Yeah, come on, Miguel. I'll give you all the training you need, fam. I'm here to help everyone level up, including myself. This kind of helps me too, because even at my level, you still need refreshers here and there, because you forget a lot of things, honestly. So, but yeah, Onion, she's definitely she's simple to get most of the basics down, but if you're trying to master her, it's gonna take effort. But honestly, that's every character, any fighting game. I don't care who you're using. There's no character that's just gonna give you the instant win. It could be the most ungood character too. We all have to put in those hours in training mode if we want to get anywhere, right? Nothing's gonna come for us for free. Nothing. Not in any fighting game. That's why whenever people complain about characters, he's so strong, he only wins because of this character. It's like it's not true. They may be using the tools of that character in your eyes abusively, but they still have to put in the effort to you know what I mean, to use those tools. They're not just being like, oh yeah, brain dead. Yeah. There are certain like, you know, certain characters that are broken and then they get banned, obviously. But lately, especially with most new recent fighting games, there hasn't been anything really dumb when it comes to balance. Like for the most part, they kind of have a good idea of what they're doing with these characters. There's no like Omega Gen standing jab unblockable, sorry, standing light kick unblockable type stuff. You know what I mean? So I think we're good. Even, I hate to say it, but yes, even Laura's up there too. As much as I hate playing that stupid character, it's very true. Also, Dialectic, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Oh, you said something? I said he dropped Cammy because she's too hard to do well with. The thing is, like I said, I see where he's coming from compared to the other top tiers, right? Like Rashid. Like if you look at Cammy and Rashid, they pretty much have the same game plan, but Rashid has an overhead, right? Like a true overhead. Rashid, you know, Rashid has really good rushdown pressure like Cammy. His corner carry is pretty good. Like he's just a really good oppressive character, and he has the fireball on top of it. His V trigger is also really good, both versions of it, right? So yeah, as a character, he's way, yeah, Rashid has he's like a better Shoto than Ryu pretty much, and he has rushdown properties and an overhead. The list goes on. Free get out of the corner, meterless, right? Whereas Cammy, if Cammy's in the corner, right, the only way she can get out of the corner, other than obviously, you know, I'm jumping out or I'm comboing. Let's say if I want to do a side switch, for example, I should probably bring this up too. This is good to know. I gotta spend meter. I didn't do something like that, right? EX spiral arrow. Whereas if I'm Rashid, I'm just like, okay, if this guy, he's being obvious with the pressure, you know? Or I can fake them out. Oh, I'm gonna do the low one and I got the cross up. So, but Cammy's still really good though. Like I use Cammy. A lot of people still use Cammy. Look at all those CPT top 8s, man. You still see Cammy's up there. She's definitely a character that can win tournaments, if you know what I mean, right? And if you like the character, put in the work. And like I said, just because you're not gonna pick Rashid and suddenly become, oh, I'm the best, I'm gonna be CPT top 8, right? You still gotta learn the character, be proficient with them, master them, right? Gotta go now. All right, Pedro, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Later on, like I said, I'm gonna post this whole VOD on YouTube, so you can look up like the later stuff if you want. But I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, a shitload to mix up. This game seems pretty balanced for the most part, though. At least compared to Tekken 7. There's a Street Fighter character literally ruined Tekken right now. Oh, you mean Akuma? Is it Akuma? That's kind of annoying. I know Leroy was kind of annoying for a bit in Tekken, but yeah, like Terminator said, Street Fighter 5 has annoying characters, but a lot of characters are annoying. There isn't just like the one character, right? People complain about G, people complain about Rashid, people complain about Akuma, you know, Laura. Like, if I can count more than 2 characters, then you're kind of in a good spot, is what I try to say. And of course, Akuma by design is just a monster, dude. He can never not be good. That's just my philosophy of Akuma. He can never not be a top tier character without just completely gutting him and making him Ryu too. So he was literally made by Capcom. Capcom saw ST Bison, you know, Bison in Street Fighter 2, who was already pretty stupid because he was a boss character, and they're like, how do we make this character? How do we make a character that's dumber than this character that's already dumb? Oh, I know, Akuma. Air fireball, fucking a dive kick, a throw option off his dive kick, a low hit on his dive kick, among other things, red fireball and all that other jazz. So yeah, so it's, I don't know if you could ever truly balance Akuma, unfortunately. Leroy was hella buffed. Yeah, Leroy was crazy. The old Leroy tournament at the last Japan Evo, bruh. Some of the Geese are just going to be monsters no matter what. Yeah, Geese is also a boss character, right? Isn't he from, what games is he from? The other SNK games? The problem with Akuma is that has absurd plus frames, dumb combo damage, is the same pretty much all the time, bro. Yeah, exactly, and his V trigger, which is just like, I'm a big kid now, the comeback factor, right? He could be getting messed up. Ugh, I have all the fucking pressure in the world now. But anyways, that's enough about Cammy, other characters. Let's get back on Cammy now. What else did I go over? So I went over her V triggers. Oh, let's talk about V skill now. Okay. This is gonna be a bit controversial, okay? Because what I'm gonna say is unfortunately true, okay? If you're gonna be using Cammy, her best V skill to use is V skill 2. The reason being, oh, I didn't even pick the right one. Look at me. I'm so accustomed to my baby. V skill 1. Okay, the reason being is it gives you a confirm. I'm pretty sure it links off medium. It doesn't. Never mind. But what's good about it is it gives you an option off a medium kick. Because let's say you're pressuring medium kick, and they press a button, I'm pretty sure it crush counters. Like, let's set read to do block. Guard all. Set guard button, do it like a jab, right? Yeah. Something like that, right? It gives you an option off the medium kick, whereas usually you're -3 after that, and you really can't do much. Like, you really can't do much there. Whereas with this, you know, depending on, you have to space it, obviously. You get something like that, and if it counter hits, you get crush counter. Keep going here. Practice counter hits? Yeah, exactly. It's only a counter hit it links? Okay. But yeah, it's a way better V skill just because of that alone. It's not perfect. It's -6 on block, which can be punished by certain things depending on the circumstance. I think it always gets punished by supers, but even then, look how far it pushes her away, dude. You never want to throw it out in neutral. I see Cammys do this sometimes. Like, don't do that. That's just like, first off, why? Like, what are you baiting there? Cammy isn't a fireball character. Don't do that. Secondly, if they just happen to jump, they just got a full-in jumping combo. So if you're going to use it sparingly and use it smart. At high level, the Cammys that do have it aren't always using it. They use it when they need to, okay? But it is her better V skill. But the V skill that I use is V skill 1. Definitely not the best V skill. Slow. Look at that. It's very slow. It crosses up, but even then, it's very slow. It's good for fireballs, but even then, you can only really react to like slow fireballs with it. You can't be reacting to sonic booms with it, but it's an option. I use it. I probably should be using V skill 2. I won't even lie. I probably should be using V skill 2. But I just love V skill 1, man. Call me crazy, you know, but I just love it. You know, it's plus on block, you know what I mean? So even if I just throw it out, at least I get like those plus frames, you know? But at the same time, it's like, you know, it's not as good as V skill 2, unfortunately. But it's the one I use. And that's why I'm saying this kind of goes back to my talk about like using different V triggers. Use whatever you like, man. There really is no handbook of like, oh, you have to use this specifically if you want to win or that. Especially if you're using a good character like Cammy. I've seen Cammys even at high level who still have this V skill, right? Because at the end of the day, Cammy doesn't have amazing. Both V skills aren't the best V skills in the world, anyways. So just use what you like. If you feel like you like the options you get with V skill 2, use V skill 2. If you feel like you like the options you get with this one, then use this one. Like, one thing I like to do is, let's say I have them on the ropes, right? They're literally about to die. Anything I do can kill them, right? One thing I like to do is I like to fake out, like, walk forward, right? To show that I'm going for pressure. And let's say I don't know if they're going to throw tech or DP. I go for something like that. And it beats both their options, right? Definitely gimmicky, but that's just how I use it in some circumstances. There's even been times where literally I'm pressuring like that. Let's say I have them respecting me so much, especially here. I go for something like that, right? Because I feel like the thing about this game, it's all about these overwhelming your opponent with options, right? They're not going to be looking out for everything all the time. So if you show them here that you're always going for dive kick or you're always going for cross up, in their mind they're going to be like, fuck, I don't know what's coming next. You catch them with that, they're thinking, oh shit, that also crosses up. Oh, I'm freaking out. It hits them in front. GG's, right? I've hit that on Warlords, guys. It's, like I said, it's not your go-to. Same with crouching medium kick V-skill 2. It's not going to be your go-to. But it's something I like to use. And hey, it's just, that's my play style. So use what you like is what I'm trying to say. If you want to be that guy that uses the completely optimal, be that guy who uses the completely optimal. If it's find something that you like, use what you like. No, hey, we got that privilege as a Cammy player. We don't have really bad V triggers or V skills. Not amazing, but they're also not horrible compared to like other characters who literally have like useless, aka reuse V skill 2, right? Like no one uses that because it really adds nothing to his game plan anyways. With Cammy, both V skills are overall viable. Exactly. V skill 2, V skill 2 are most viable. Exactly. But nothing's unusable. Yeah, exactly what Missing Person says. You know, use what you like. Nothing's gonna be that this is gonna guarantee your win. Because at the end of the day, you don't win with Cammy. You don't win with Cammy because of V skill. You don't win a Cammy because of V trigger. What makes you win with Cammy for the most part is your good pressure, right? Mixed in with a good throw game and obviously dive kick, which we'll get into soon. All right, which I think is the next part because we went over V trigger, we went over V skill. All right, now this is the last part before dive kick. Other special moves. So pretty much what I want to talk about is her other special moves, which would be Hooligan. Now let me tell you guys, okay? Hooligan. If you're a new Cammy player, Hooligan. Do not. I repeat, do not. Okay? Do not. This is if you're gonna take anything away from this, okay? If you're gonna take anything away from this, do not over rely on Hooligan. Do not make it a habit to use it full screen. Do not make it a habit to use it all the time on like pressure like this, okay? The reason being, as I just saw right there, it's not as good as people think it is. Yes, online, it's really good at catching people off. Even at the most obvious times I've seen people get hit by it. But I'm telling you right now, if you build a bad habit around using Hooligan, especially the dive kick, you're gonna get blown up for it eventually. And you don't want that to be a part of your core game plan, because later on, when you're at a higher level and you're noticing you keep losing all the time and you're not consistent, getting that out of your system and implementing something else is going to be harder rather than just not using it in the first place or not abusing it in the first place. Okay? Yes, exactly what Missing Person is saying. Oh my god, please. Yes. Do not be this Cammy player. Do not. Please. Do not. Hooligan's good. I've thrown it out before. I'm not saying it's never used, right? But like I said, it's a once in a thing gimmick type of thing. You know, if I notice they're like so focused on the ground, I might do something like that. But even then, I'm risking doing that. I'm taking a calculated risk to potentially take the game, right? But I'm not like, oh yes, I have my meter, right? Oh yes, let me just do this all the time. You know, do not use Hooligan as a tool, as a main tool in your offense. It's a mix-up option. That's what it should always be used as. In fact, if you're going to be using it, use the EX one like that. Something like that's like off of like heavy punch into like the dive kick. Something like that, right? But you don't want to be full screen especially. Don't be that guy. Like I said, it might work lower levels. It might even work high levels sometimes because of online. But I'm telling you, it's gonna get you blown up. You're not gonna be consistent with it. Because like I said, it's so easy to stuff. Jab, DP, crush counters, everything under the sun can destroy it. Even the cross-up version, right? If the Ryu was on point there, oh, free DP, free crush counter, jab, everything under the sun, right? Do not rely on it. Use it sparingly. If you have people conditioned to not look for it, it will catch them. Exactly. Use it sparingly. What about hard kick drill into Hooligan and let's wake up EXDP? You mean on Oki? Like when you get the knockdown? Is that what you're talking about, Onion? Like let's say you get a knockdown and then you go for it? Let's see. Let me try to set that up right now actually. So you said wake up EXDP, right? Let me set that right now. EXDP. Something like that, right? You got the knockdown? Alright, cool. Which one are you doing? The light hooligan after. Okay, we'll try that. Let's see how that looks. Did I not set him up? No, we gotta redo it. I didn't do it reversal timing. I did not do it reversal timing. That's why it's also important to get a reversal timing, just so it doesn't mess up in training mode too. I mean, I guess, like I said, you can do that. Like, here's what you're sacrificing by doing that, okay? Rather than just doing a walk back. Because what does walk back get you? You block. And if they throw, you shimmy. 2 options you get off of that. Whereas if they go for a shimmy, if they go for a throw instead, you're in the air, and even then I got caught there, right? It's not, I wouldn't go, like, risk reward wise, I wouldn't go for something like that. That's like way too, like, bait, honestly. Like, the risk reward, I wouldn't go for something like that. Yeah, it is really risky, that's what I'm saying. Like, and what you gain from that is, like, compared to, like I said, just walking back, right? What do you risk walking back? If they don't do anything, okay, I'm kind of out of range. Whoop-de-doo, right? But if they're mashing, full crush counter combo, right? Like I said, if they're teching, no, if you're on point, walk back, they tech, meaty, right? Whereas of this, you know what I mean? Like, not as good. That's kind of a gimmicky thing, honestly. I wouldn't add that to your arsenal whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. And even if they delay the DP, like, there's so many ways that can just get beat out. Like I said, Hooligan is more of an offensive tool. You're not going to use it to really set up things. So let's say we're like, you know, we're playing like this. And even then, I don't even like doing that. That's bad too. Like, it's just so, honestly, I rarely use Hooligan. I rarely use Hooligan. And I do fine, honestly. Like, I rarely use fucking Hooligan. The only time it ever comes out is when I accidentally get it, honestly. I hate it. I hate it. That's just me, and like, honestly, like, even at higher levels, like, like I said, the only times I see Cammies do it is when they're using it as the EX one as a pressure tool off of hard punch like that. Or they're doing something like that, right? Because EX is a beast. The EX version is a beast because it's fast, it's quick, and can catch them off guard. The normal one though, I only really do that if I think they're gonna jump, or if I'm really trying to be disrespectful, honestly. If I'm like, oh, this guy's not punish me for anything, let me just do Hooligan, let me get free damage, right? If I'm playing like autopilot and I don't care. But definitely don't make it a part of your game plan. Yeah, it's not reliable at all. The Hooligan can hit them during the activity. It can, but the damage you get from it, for example, let's say they're in the corner. Here's another example. You're getting a side switch first off, right? So let's say you have them close to the corner. Corner is so important in this game, right? Having someone in the corner is so important in this game. By doing that, you're risking corner just to punish a DP. Why? You know what I mean? Now I'm closer in the corner. Like, there's no point. Whereas if you just walk back, like I said, you get a crush counter. If he's matched you throw, walk back, you get a shimmy, right? And if he does nothing, resets neutral. Okay. You can either choose from there to go and pressure some more, or chill out and see what he does, right? Play the neutral game of it. Whereas that, you're guaranteed to lose to an option. And you're always, and if they do nothing, even if what you gain from even if you do bait out the DP is less favorable. Especially in the corner. Because, like, if you do this here, now you're in the corner. Like, what the hell? You gain nothing there, man. Yeah, Hooligan ain't that type of tool. Looking forward to the battle lounge. Yo, it's thanks Retro. Yeah, I know this is kind of going late. I just wanted to make sure I like go through everything pretty in depth, but I'll definitely try to like next time I play, you know what I mean? Or if we're ever in the lounge together, I think Hyper Fighter says he's doing a lounge, so we can do something like that. But yeah, next time I play and I do ranked, I'll definitely set up a lounge so we can all play, right? But yeah, thanks for stopping by, dude. I appreciate it. It also pops you up further into the air, which makes it harder to anti-air. Exactly, exactly. Pressure tool, or when you have EX bar to use to after a stun. Yeah, exactly. It's good for combos. It can be used for combos, right? Like the EX one specifically. That's a good one too, because that gives you Oki. But do not rely on it. That's the big thing I want to make a point of here. Do not use it as a pressure. Do not make it a part of your tools when it comes to dealing with pressure. Do not. It's just a bad habit, and it's just down the line, like I said, in the long run, when you're about to make top 8 in an online tournament, and then you run into a guy who's like masterful at fighting the Cammy matchup, and you're just getting blown up because you keep going for this as an option, you're gonna be kicking yourself in the foot later on, being like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have used that as often as I did early on, right? So yeah, if you're gonna take anything from that, just please. I'm definitely in the anti-hooligan team, okay? I'm sure you've seen Cammys that use it a lot, right? And they could be pretty high ranked, but I'm telling you right now, those Cammys aren't winning CPT tournaments, okay? I'm being blunt. This is how it is, you know? And there's a reason for that. The main suggested ending it into dive kick to punish DP. Yeah, that's the thing too, right? I guess you can end it early. But like I said, you're still, it's not, I don't care about the punish I get. You get the same, you can still get a crush counter punish. And even that, like, look at the angle there. You know, you can still get a crush counter, but like I said, look where I am. I'm farther from the corner, whereas before, let's say we're doing mid-screen, I'm closer to the corner now by just baiting out or just going for meaty or whatever, than by me doing that and trading shies, because now I'm in the corner and Ryu has to go, oh, like I have to do like 2 more sequences to get him close to the corner. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Risk reward, it's not worth it. So yeah, that's my spiel on Hooligan, okay? Do not use it as a main game plan. You know, so if you're a beginner Cammy player, please, it's tempting. Trust me, I know. I played Season 1 Cammy. I know the temptation to just be like, fuck neutral, okay? I understand it, but please do not make it a habit. Trust me. I've seen a lot of players get blown up for it. And it makes me so irritated, because if they just were, like I said, if they had more solid neutral, they're more calm, like more patient with like their approach, it would have been a better Cammy. We'll just put it that way. Yeah, exactly. It frustrates me, man. It really does. I hate this move. I hate it. Because in Street Fighter 4, it wasn't even that good, right? It didn't have any... It was just like a dumb... Okay, I can go for throw, right? It does have one option. Actually, I lied. The EX version. Catching fireballs. So if you want to be a Lord, that's a good time to use it. Let me set Ryu to do fireballs right now. And that can also help me with like the next thing. That could help me set up the next thing I want to talk about. So definitely, full screen, you get those fireballs, right? This is a really good anti-fireball tool, because on frame 1, I believe, is fireball invincible. And if you watch my Ryu labbing video, we've used it in a few circumstances. So yes, it does have its uses in specific circumstances involving fireballs. But like I said, you don't want it to be your game plan. You don't want to be like the guy who's like, you're here, right? You're done playing the neutral. You're like here. You're like, ugh! You know what I mean? Just no. Okay. So enough about that. Next thing I want to talk about is spiral arrow. This is another thing too. Do not do random spiral arrows. Please do not. First off, why would you even do it? How minus are you on block with this move? Okay. Let's kind of use some logic here, because with anything in this game, you want to use it. You want to use some like high level logic, right? Because at the end of the day, that's where we're all trying to go. We're not just trying to be like diamond. Sorry, we're not just trying to be like gold or even just diamond, right? If you want to be there, that's fine. But I feel like having a good base can be better, because let's say later on you find it being gold. Let's say later on you want to come back and work your way up. You got the solid fundamentals there now, okay? You got a solid base, so you don't have to worry too much. And it's less disheartening. But let's just look at the risk reward, okay? Let's set him to guard all. Okay, look at this crazy move. It's minus 12 on block. Okay, minus 8 there. You can space it out to be like minus 5, I believe, but still, it's pretty minus, okay? So why throw this out for A? It can hit low. It used to hit low in 4, which, you know what, was somewhat viable, because if you were crazy like me, I did it sometimes, and you knew, okay, they're not respecting the fact that I have this. Get hit, block low, right? But it doesn't have that anymore. So there's no threat with this move. The only time you're ever gonna catch someone with this, obviously there's some circumstances that involve whiff punishing, but that's very specific. But the only time you're gonna ever catch someone like this is if they're just walking forward or lag, honestly. Because offline, this ain't gonna fly, dude. No one's getting hit by this offline raw, okay? No one. No one's getting hit by this. You do this, the guy's gonna be like, yeah, thanks, bro, I won the match. You know what I mean? So just don't do that either. However, the EX version has good uses though. Just like the V-Trigger version, you can use it to nullify fireballs, which is good. See, really good tool if you have the meter. This is pretty much Cammy's anti-fireball, because Cammy kind of has a hard time dealing with fireballs, and unfortunately she needs meter to deal with them properly. But those are her two good like anti-fireball options. Obviously, the fastest and quickest one being EX Spiral Arrow. So if you're gonna use it smart like that, right? You have the meter, you think they're gonna throw fireball, bam, okay? Don't make it a bad habit, please. Hooligan random spirals. Don't make it a bad habit. Don't even think about it in your gameplay, okay? It doesn't exist. Out of sight, out of mind. Alright? There's only a couple times you're gonna raw do this, and it's never gonna be an Anga. Like if Dhalsim is just raw throwing out normal Yoga Fires in neutral and a higher level, that isn't going to happen. Although I had a diamond level Dhalsim do that to me once, then Scrub Pro Smash when I caught him doing that. Yeah, well, exactly. Case by case type of thing. Just don't make it a habit. Like I said, actually, I like that you mentioned Dhalsim, because Dhalsim is an example of using it raw. Like Missing Person said, if they're being really obvious with their limbs and you're calling them out. But right now, just don't use it. Don't use this as an option. Don't use this. Just like I said, out of sight, out of mind. Be smart with it, okay? Same with when I mentioned blocking earlier. Instead of just going for EXDP or wake up jab and just blocking instead, right? It's an option, right? Like at the end of the day, it's Street Fighter 5. We gotta mix up our approach sometimes. But A, it's matchup specific. I'll never do this against Ryu, for example, because I gain nothing whatsoever. If I'm fighting Abigail, I will, because he has really slow normals, and I can literally whiff punish on reaction with Spiral Arrow, right? So yeah, that's just all I want to bring up with that, okay? And now, finally, 2 hours, almost 3 hours in, guys. This is a long one today, but it was good talking to you guys too. I appreciate everyone here today, by the way, eh? You guys are all lords, and I hope I'm like being somewhat helpful with some things. Like I said, I know I can like, I'm not the best at explaining things too, you know, and like sometimes I can ramble, but I hope like you guys are kind of like understanding this information, and it's somewhat helpful, even if it's just like one thing or two. Okay. Now finally, we are gonna talk about the best move in Cammy. Oh, let me not have him match on Wake Up. That's pretty accurate, actually. That's probably what's gonna happen a lot of times. So practice those crush counter combos. Oh, I didn't even do crush counter combos. What am I crazy? Let me do one crush counter combo, because I feel like that's important to have before I get into this next thing. So Cammy's max damage crush counter combo. Set guard. We'll have him do EXDP. I can't believe I forgot about this. All right. Her max damage crush counter combo. Okay. So this is our go-to forward hard kick, crouching medium punch. hard kick spiral arrow, and if you're obviously in the corner, bam bam, into DP. Yeah, you messed it up, but yeah, the DP is the max damage, obviously. That, and then obviously you can do super if you have meter or whatever. The super max damage though, if you're a lord, dash up combo. So something like that. That's tricky though. I wouldn't advise practicing that at first. If you're gonna practice anything first, practice doing this. It's just easier and simpler. So that's your go-to crush counter combo. Go-to? Oh, bruh. Go-to combo. Max damage. Right? It's a DP or whatever, spend meter. Whatever you gotta do in the moment. Yeah, exactly. There's really only one crush counter combo you need. You can also confirm it to V-trigger as a route technically and go for Oki after. Yeah. So there's only a few things you can really do with crush counter. Alright, now finally, we're gonna talk about, and also Terminator. I know you've been waiting patiently. I'm sorry I'm finally getting into this now, but thank you for being patient with me, my friend. Now we're gonna talk about Can of Sprite, okay? This move, okay? This one move has caused a lot of stress in people's life, okay? This crazy move, okay, is the reason why you can go on forum posts and see like 20 long page posts about people hating on Cammy. This one move, okay? This one move is why people despise this fucking character. Why you have people literally doing whole Twitter polls about can you anti-air Cammy? Because, okay, dive kick is a really strong tool. It is definitely Cammy's strongest special move. It's definitely one of her strongest pressure tools as well, right? Reason being is, well, it's fast. It's really fast, actually. All things considered, it has a height restriction. So before in old games, you could do it literally completely off the ground, but now there's a bit of a height restriction, right? But it's fast. It changes her jump arc first off, which is annoying because let's say you're a character who has an anti-air with a normal. If I do a delay and you're expecting like a jump in like that, right? I just caught you on counter hit and I can get a combo, right? These people tell me why I have Secret Dark Soul. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly why you probably get hate mail. Why people tell you get carried by your character. Is this one move, okay? Now, mind you, dive kick is a very good move. I will never downplay Cammy's dive kick. It's very good, especially this version, okay? Extremely, this version is, oh my god, like crazy. Here's the thing though, okay? Here's the thing I just want to mention about dive kick. It's not unbeatable, guys, okay? I fight the Cammy mirror too. You know, you think Cammys don't have to deal with dive kick in the mirror? We do deal with it just as much, okay? The thing is though, okay? And the thing I want to mention is that it has its benefits, right? And it has its things that aren't good about it also, okay? What do you say? Cannot autopilot dive hit at the same height every time, or because smart plays. Exactly. You cannot autopilot dive kick. I want to reiterate that right now. If you're autopiloting dive kick, especially against a character like Ryu, you're always doing it at this range. You're getting a parry into a full combo. You're always doing it at this range. He's gonna walk back DP. You're always doing it at this range. He can literally get a whiff punish. So do not autopilot dive kick, okay? The times you want to use it are smart. Be smart with your dive kicks. This is like me going back talking about Hooligan and talking about using random spirals. Be smart with your dive kicks. Because let's say you're just the guy, oh, I'm always going to do dive kick. Well, there, first off, on block, it's -4. Or was that -6? Let's see. It was hella, yeah, it was like at least -4. So I think sometimes it can be even -6. I'm not even sure. But it's minus, right? If it hits the top of the head, it's minus. So you always want to be smart if you're spacing with it. Spacing is key with dive kick. Because as Terminator mentioned earlier, hitting it below the waist is what you want to practice doing. Because when you hit it below the waist, you get more advantage on block. And you can actually get counter hit from it. So you want to work on finding the spacing for each version of dive kick where it's always optimal. Alright? And what I've developed is, as you can see, I'm doing like these traps there. That's something I've developed through playing Cammy, where I know after I do a trap like that, I'm at a good range to do medium kick. Do something like this, I'm at a good range to do heavy dive kick, and I'm plus, right? So that's just something you want to work on. First thing, but if you're brand new to Cammy, and like even before you do something like that, if you're brand new to Cammy, work on getting it as low to the ground as possible and as fast as you can, okay? Every version of dive kick, right? Because you don't want to be doing it like that all the time, like slow, because like I said, you get stuff like that, you hit them at the top of the head, you're unsafe. So just work on, see, I messed up my dive kick there, but work on getting it as low to the ground and as fast as possible. When I first started using Cammy, that's the first thing I worked on in this game. Because before, it was a bit easier because the height restriction wasn't as high. But in this game, sometimes I just do this in the training mode. Over and over again. You know, just practicing my muscle memory. And it doesn't matter if you're on pad, stick, whatever. Every hitbox, it's just all about practice. Right now, I'm using the analog stick on an Xbox 360 controller. You see? It's just all about practice. Even then, I think I could have got it lower there. But yeah. And then from there, also practice getting EX dive kick low as possible. Because that's another one that if you hit it too high, you're minus on block. See there, I was minus, I was punishable. I was literally -5 there, right? So that one, even though this one is definitely her best dive kick, just because of how fast it is, right? It's really good at catching like neutral buttons, like walk forward, like everything. But you want to work on making sure you get the advantage on block so it's worthwhile, instead of like hitting it like high like that and then you're minus on block and they can take their turn, okay? And when it comes to EX dive kick, you can get it really low like that, and you can also practice doing the Tiger Knee version. Tiger Knee's tough though. Like I can get the Tiger Knee, but I don't rely on it. I honestly I've kind of trained myself to do it manually, but Tiger Knee is a good option if you're trying to like find a shortcut. It's easier, it's way easier on pad and on stick than it is on analog though, as you can see. Because you have to delay it. There's still a height restriction with EX dive kick. So you still have to delay it, unfortunately. As you can see, I'm not getting it consistently, but it is an option. But yeah. That's dive kick in a nutshell, man. The reason why I don't want to go too in depth with dive kick is I feel like it's more something you should. When I think of like learning Cammy, especially if you're starting out with her, to make things simpler, I feel like dive kick should be something that you shouldn't worry too much about right away. It's there, it's definitely a very strong tool for her, but you want to make sure your meaties and your shimmies are good. Sorry, not your shimmies. Your pressure is good on the ground, right? Your walk-up pressure, your throw pressure, right? Your neutral buttons, right? Everything else like that, you want golden so that you could set up this easier and blow up your opponent, okay? So once you have everything else really good, right? Your walk-up pressure, your throw game, your frame traps, you know what I mean? Your decision making, that's when you can be like, okay, now we got dive kick in there, all right? Definitely a big important tool when it comes to Cammy, but I feel like in the beginning, it shouldn't be your focus. Because like I said, it's really easy to build bad habits with this move. And then you're just that Cammy player that's always doing dive kicks, and you're just getting blown up for it, okay? So what I would say, what I would work on right now, if you are starting out with dive kick, is like I said, working on getting it as low as possible as you can. Working on like getting spacings for it where it's plus like that, right? So try to eye it. So let's say do like something where you're walking forward, and try to work on getting the hit and also getting it hitting low. Something like that, right? With EX dive kick too. And then also work on hit confirming it. So let's have him not guard here. So you got a hit, something like that, right? Let's have him do random actually. So working on hit confirming it. So I got the hit. I can do crouching medium punch spiral, right? Alright, I got the block. Don't confirm. I got the block. Don't confirm. Got the hit, confirm it, right? And then from there, if you're feeling more confident, you can set them to do a button. So in this case, have them do a jab, right? And this way, and then once you're good at like connecting it off the normal hit, work on getting the counter hit confirmed. As you can see, I'm even messing it up, but getting the counter hit confirmed. See? So something like that. That's a go-to too, eh? If you're gonna use dive kick and you hit it low, jab it to standing hard punch. So counter to the jab, counter hits, and then you get standing hard punch after. It's a spiral or DP. Is whiffing dive kick to bait anti-airs a thing, or is it unreliable? Yes, that's also something you do. Good. Thank you for bringing that up, Terminator. That is an option you could do. If you're fighting a character that has a DP, using light kick, dive kick, so like getting into like their DP range, what I like to do sometimes is if I know they're waiting to anti-air me, right? Which is something people like to do against Cammy. I can see, you can just see too, because they'll be less active in this area, right? What I like to do is sometimes you can even just go in and just pressure them. Sometimes they're so off on point. They're waiting to bait it so badly that I could just do this. I've had times where I literally just walk up and throw them, right? But if you want to be like cheeky, you could do like this, walk into the range a bit, walk back, something like that, bait out a DP. It just kind of puts them on, it kind of makes them like, it tells them that they can't autopilot their anti-airs against you. And it's just another reason why dive kick's so good, just because of the fact you can change your jump arc with it, right? Heavy one obviously goes closer, light one's more farther away, right? And then also at the same time, you can just do normal jump, right? That's why it's so hard. That's why Cammy gets away of jumping other than compared to other characters, because the dive kick is such a powerful tool at stuffing anti-airs that a lot of times people will just be like, whatever, I'll just take the jump. So yeah, that's why jumping with Cammy is such a good thing, and I love it. Cammy, but it's tricky. Aside for it, it's something to be cautious about against sparingly. Yeah, exactly. If you rely too much on gimmicks, you'll get blown up. Yeah, exactly. So like everything, right? Don't make it your like tool to rely on, right? It's definitely a strong tool. Don't get me wrong, right? But like I said, the first things you want to work on if you're learning Cammy, getting that good ground game, man. Being able to use your medium kick, your crouching medium kick, your standing medium kick properly, being able to like whiff punish properly if you're hard punch, you know, being able to have a good tick throw and block strings, you know, tight block strings that you're able to like weave in and out, working on your shimmies, having that solid base, so then eventually, you got your Cammy cake, right? Everything I just mentioned is your Cammy cake. It's all dolled up, it's all ready. That cherry on top is this dive kick, baby. All right. So that's all I'm gonna really say for dive kick right now, just because like there's obviously a lot more to it, but I think for now that's pretty much what I want to say. I think that's it for Cammy, actually. I think that's everything I got. Yeah. So that's everything for now, guys. I went through pretty much all the basics I feel that can help you as a Cammy player. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is pretty long. You know, I've rambled in some parts, but like I said, this is probably something you could watch not all at once, you know, come back later, bookmark it for later, remember where you were last time. If you already know a sequence, just, you know, go on to the next one, right? But yeah, this is just all information that, as a Cammy player, if you just work on all this stuff that I mentioned, man, you can be like diamond even, I think. Probably even higher. But yeah, definitely diamond. You know, platinum diamond, honestly.